Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. This is Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. We're a couple melodramatic guys, troll each other over fanfare. Everything is not high fives. At last, it's not scripted. No set cast. Do you spit facts or trash? You can get muted or booted. You might even get called out or have to sit on the couch, not because of doubt, but for lacking knowledge of your team. Clash of the Fans Club, that's a touchy segment, but the theme is to test your knowledge over live stream. Fan club debaters, even the moderator can be perceived as a moderate hater. An hour or two later with football, basketball, and music, aficionados, as we profess the athletic bravado of your favorite you want to see thrive. Even with gamers playing head-to-head live, some of our basis to be haters is bias. Out of sheer alliance of our teams we want to see thrive. Let's see if you can survive the cinematic theatrics of Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. This is Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is Fans Club Live show for the fans, by the fans, literally. Whenever we're on, it's the best night of the week. In case y'all don't know,
Always.
it clearly is the best night. The rest of your night might be going, best of the week might be okay, but when we on, your whole night changes in a good direction. Salute, what's going on, David? What's going on, cuz? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Glad to be back. Glad to put all this information out to all these people. And then more than glad to do something that we didn't do in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Was give the roses to those Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely.
Gotta give it to them. Listen, man, for all y'all that might come on, that's about to come on, and that's watching everything like that. Again, you're watching Fans Club Live show for the fans, by the fans, at Fans Club Live show on all platforms. Salute to those on Twitch that's watching. Salute to anybody that's anywhere that's watching. We got panel. My panel's here. He's starting. David's the first one. They're going to be popping in. We going to dive right in. And as he mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, we didn't get to do it because of just life, scheduling conflict. But we made sure we did a pre-show to the Super Bowl. So what we did is we made sure that we gave some predictions. I had some predictions that was put out there. I owe some people guru status because they nailed it, David being one of them. Listen, man. In case y'all live under a rock and you are just not aware, the Philadelphia Eagles indeed are the Super Bowl champions. Not only did they beat Kansas City, they dismantled Kansas City and did, if I can say, something I have not seen done, not to the level of the way that they played on both sides of the ball, but specifically their defense. David, break this down, and I got to give you a guru status when the time comes on this show because there are a couple of key things that you definitely called out as well as the Eagle fans. So y'all might be wondering, like, hold up, why are we doing it? How are they doing Super Bowl? We got actual Eagle fans on here. That's part of the show. And they be on the show when we go live. So we can't, just because our team didn't win, we can't go hide and say, all right, we're going to only give y'all props on the chat, but not do it publicly. That's not how we operate. Fans Club makes sure that we give them props where it's due. And listen, a live show, so it's documented, David, that we gave them props. So talk to me, man. Break down what made you go the route that you went with your prediction, because I had them losing by 2 touchdowns, maybe a touchdown or so. You did not. You had it really close to what you seen happen. Break it down, man. Your guru status is owed to you. The floor is yours, sir. And since nobody else is on, take your time.
I'm just gonna say it wasn't necessarily the Kansas City offense that the Philadelphia Eagles was worried about. They were worried about the Kansas City defense. Once that defense tried to just say we're gonna stop Saquon Barkley, it turned into a numbers game where Philly was just able to score them. Philly defense, like I told everybody, no disrespect to Kansas City, but when you're playing your all-pro guard at left tackle, and then you don't have a legitimate right tackle because Taylor is good, but he's not great. And then you got Creed doing his thing there, but he's also trying to help on the other side. You essentially went to the game with a 2-3 mismatch across your whole defensive line. I thought the pressure was going to come from the inside because I thought Creed wasn't going to be able to get the help, but the pressure came from the outside with Sweat, with Montel Williams, and a whole host of the Philadelphia Eagles just getting there. Two guys finishing with two
Yeah.
guys finishing with 2 sacks, ridiculous numbers.
2.5. Sweat.
Yeah, Sweat 2.5, and
Yeah.
Even Jackson Hunt got in there and had a sack in the fourth quarter, which he got
Crazy.
fined for. I didn't like. Shame on you, NFL. And they just put on the pressure on them, so it made Kansas City play behind the whole game. And Kansas City talk about, oh, we're down 21-0, we could come back. You not coming back against the Eagles if you're down 21-0.
We discovered that they kept the pressure on, as I like to say, all gas, no brakes. They was all gas, no brakes that entire game defensively. Them young boys said, we are not leaving this up to chance. We gonna punch you in the mouth, and they executed. Like, I gotta say, and something you make good point. I didn't expect Kansas City line, which has not been called for a holding call in the last 2 Super Bowls, to actually struggle the way that they did. They could not block. No, especially Sweat. He was on fire, but Williams as well. I didn't expect that. I thought their line would somehow hold up to give him more time, but every time he dropped back, it was like nothing.
Kansas City biggest flaw all year was the offensive line. When they let go of Donovan Smith and didn't re-sign him in free agency, and nobody signed him in free agency, they made a weak spot, and then they tried to cover it up by moving, once again, your all-pro guard to left tackle, but then that makes your left guard position a weakness. It makes your right guard position, which was already a weakness the last 2 Super Bowls, stand out more, because now Creed Humphrey can't go over there and double team because he had Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis to deal with all day. It was just a bad matchup. I've seen that happening before the Super Bowl even kicked off. That's why I predicted the way that I did. As much as we give roses to people, I want to give blame to somebody, and I don't normally give blame.
By all means, sir.
That was the worst coach game Andy Reid has ever had in his life, because he did not make any adjustments. He did not try to run the ball. He put that team on Patrick Mahomes' back without giving Patrick Mahomes any of the tools that was properly needed in the third quarter to even try and make it a game.
I'm so glad you outlined that, because when I was watching the game, I'm sitting there like, man, they literally made him look like he needed to retire. How bad and out of sync he was. Like, no adjustments. I don't even think they carried the ball 15 times. You got 2 ahead of roster running back that have been productive for you to at least keep it 70, 80 yards between one of them. And Pacheco was like MIA. You would have thought he was hurt the way that he just didn't run him.
Kareem Hunt was MIA. He only had one catch, 1 pass attempt, 1 rush attempt, and did not play from the third quarter on.
That's crazy. Like, what is that about? Like, they completely completely abandon what I'm used to them doing. And I was just kind of scratching my head like, what can, as a Niner fan, I'll be real. I was like, where was this team at last year when we played? They ran the ball. They had a balanced attack. I'm sitting there like, what in the world was I watching? Patrick Mahomes out of sync. It was just pure ugly, man. It was ugly, and they got up on him early. What player from obviously it hurt me more on a couple of reasons. Let me get on my soapbox and say why I was a little annoyed. One, I was annoyed because my prediction was wrong, so that was one. I was completely off on that. Number 2, watching Cooper DeJean do that when I had him as my first round pick in my mock draft, and we didn't take him. You know how upset that made me watching him. I'm saying that's why I had him as my first round pick, and we let him. We just didn't do nothing. So I knew the kid could play, and it was just a beautiful break on the ball. Listen, man, on your birthday, you return an interception against a Hall of Famer for a touchdown to give your team the momentum. You couldn't have scripted any better, and I'm not gonna say it was scripted, but that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Couldn't have asked for a better birthday gift. Talk
Both the
about the
both the
boys,
birthday
man, on
boys scored
the
on that
squad.
day.
Go ahead, say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I said
No, you
both
good.
the
You good.
birthday boys actually scored on that day because it was Saquon Barkley's birthday as well.
What? Hold up. That day?
Yes, it
Oh,
was
they
the D.
celebrate the same birthday. Okay,
They
okay,
share the
okay.
same birthday.
Oh, okay. What up, H Money? Salute to you, sir. Good to see you, man. He said we here. Appreciate you. Listen, what I was surprised at, David, also was the way that you predicted that Kansas City had no receivers.
Uh,
And you nailed it. Other than Worthy, nobody. I mean, Hopkins dropped the wide open.
That's not Nuke. That's Dud Hopkins. He's not been Nuke for the last 2 years. Not saying he's not going into the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, yeah.
but when you do things like that, it's time to say, oh, maybe I should wrap it up. And as far as Hollywood Brown, I kept telling anybody he's only had one good year in the 7 years that he's been playing in the National Football
You
League.
nailed that.
You can be fast, but being productive and being able to get off jams, him and Woods is the same thing. It's just that Woods might be faster, and Woods proved he was faster in the third quarter against backups that he could get past their secondary.
Listen, I couldn't believe it. And then the real kicker was Kelsey like forgot in the game plan completely. What was that about? Like again, Reed just was I don't know, no adjustments to anything. When Kelsey doesn't have a big game, I don't know what was going on, man. I don't know. Was it
Because
so? Spags was Spag just out? Was Spag and Andy Reid just completely out coached, or really was Sirianni said, "Listen, y'all gonna focus on Saquon all you want, and I'm gonna utilize everything." Like AJ came out the ball. Like, talk to me. What was the Eagles doing offensively? That kind of we seen the defense. We know what they did, but what was it offensively that separated them from Kansas City's defense? Because it seemed evenly matched on paper.
they stayed to their norm. Saquon Barkley carried the ball all the way into the fourth quarter. Granted, he didn't pick up the 100 yards, but they stayed trying to run the ball to open up the play action. They got multiple receivers involved because it's not a one-man show in Philly like they've been trying to do over the last couple of years by just making it the A.J. Brown show. They got Dobson involved. They got Dallas Goedert involved. So they spreaded the ball and spreaded the wealth, and their offensive line did a lot better job against Kansas City defensive front than I thought that they were going to do. I thought it was actually going to be the same problem on both sides of the ball with that. And Kansas City was able to stop the run game, but they wasn't able to get as much pressure on Hurts as the Eagles got on Mahomes. Because Kansas City does have a great defensive front. I'm not going to take away from Chris Jones and Hannah and Bolton and the rest of those guys and Kefler. Not going to take away from them.
Minihue, who came from us, I seen him crying at the end. And I guess, for him to make it 2 years back to back, because he was with us and lost. Then he went to Kansas City in free agency, went back to the Super Bowl, lost again. So, that's why, you see the Kansas City player that was crying, that was because he was with us and lost two in a row. So I'd be crying too if I got there and still could win. But
it's just hard to come up with a game plan. Your game plan is successful to stop the run game. Your secondary was actually doing a good job until the second half, because once the interception going into halftime turned the complexity of the ball game, then it allowed Philly to do more. But Philly offense wasn't really that explosive in the first half. It was mainly their defense and just playing their brand of football. So it wasn't a knock on Kansas City defense. However, Andy Reid once again should have adapted and overcame as the head coach, and he didn't do anything to make adjustments on either side of the ball. So I don't blame it on Spags. I don't blame it on whoever their offensive coordinator is. I'm looking at the head coach and saying, hey, where's your adjustment? Neither one of these is stopping anything.
Nothing. They weren't stopping. They definitely game plan for. They said Barkley's not gonna beat us, so they kept that modest. I don't think I don't even know if he averaged 5 a carry. He probably averaged like 4.2 or 3.8 somewhere in that round. I have it in front of me, but I'm sure he didn't have a great game like rushing. They definitely kept him in check. But like you said, Philly said, you know what, we're gonna still keep it honest. He did pick up first when he needed to pick up first. Devontae doing his thing, but AJ Brown, the diva of all divas, because that's what we like to call him, he came out and said, give me the ball. And no matter who was covering him, even when I see McDuffie on him, he was still catching it. Like, talk about that matchup and how big of a game AJ Brown was. And does that just silence everybody that had something to say regarding him and asking for the ball? Maybe he was justified based on what he did.
I mean, it's justified because he knows that he is a top 5 wide receiver. However, wide receivers don't win Super Bowls. Wide receivers, we're gonna make it real. Wide receivers don't win Super Bowls. Every time you see the Super Bowl winner, 10 times out of 10, it's the team that rushes for the most yards in the Super Bowl. I think maybe y'all was probably the only exception, and I think they actually outrushed y'all.
Yeah.
I think they actually outrushed y'all in that Super Bowl the year prior. So the Eagles just said to themselves, like, hey, we know you are a piece, but you can't be the main piece. Devontae Smith cannot be the main piece. Mm-hmm. It was actually opposite of Kansas City, where Kansas City just thought, we're going to make these receivers the main piece along with Patrick Mahomes. That's not a good recipe for anybody in the Super Bowl. Everybody needs to stop that. It's 4 quarters, it's one game. Control the clock, control the ball, and they did it. Now with AJ Brown, and I kept telling everybody this.
Yeah,
you mentioned McDuffie, and McDuffie was an All-Pro last year,
right?
But it was really in the slot. You got to remember, Kansas City lost their number 1 corner to the Tennessee Titans.
Snead, yep.
Which forced McDuffie to start playing more on the outside. And that's not to say that McDuffie is not a bad corner, because 31 teams in the NFL would take McDuffie easily. Right. But you can't be 5'11" going up against 6'3.5" for 4 quarters and him not get the best of you once or maybe twice. It's just not going to happen, especially when you're looking in the backfield, expecting to run like you've been coached all week, and this guy goes blow by you. It could have been a lot worse because they don't call that PI. That wasn't PI. then you had the worst game of your life, McDuffie.
They punched him in the mouth. Didn't you see it? Devontae, was it Devontae? No, was it AJ? Who he threw the deep pass to? That was AJ that caught the deep pass that Hurts threw. I can't remember.
The one that went for the touchdown was Smith. The one that went for the first down was Jahan Dotson in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the long pass to Smith. That's the one I'm talking. In the back of the end zone that he caught at full stride. I just look. Now, here's a question. Honest assessment. I know offensively they always give it to an offensive guy. It's hard to say why Sweat wouldn't be nominated for MVP. Didn't get MVP, because he was unblockable. Like, what do you think? Was it Hurts was just, but then again, Hurts had like 70 rushing, nothing phenomenal passing, but he had a good game. Like it wasn't as good as the first game he played against them. But what do you think? Did justified for him getting the MVP?
Hurts was the MVP until the other defensive end picked up his 2nd sack. Because then it made it obviously you got 2.5, he got 2. Oh, y'all just both had really, really good games. We got to give it to the guy who didn't do anything wrong other than the 1st quarter interception.
Yeah.
Kept the ball moving and controlled the offense. I mean, it was probably the closest MVP voting we've had in a while. And it really was no loser. Sweat can't be upset that, I'm not the defensive MVP. I'm not the Super Bowl MVP when I'm the Super Bowl champion. Anybody that's that upset and selfish.
Okay, I'm sure.
Unless your name is Russell Wilson, hint.
Listen, I'll tell you this much. I was definitely I don't. Here's the thing, and I'll say it, and I'm not backtracking. Trust me, I don't do that. I stick to my guns. I don't like Philly as equally as much as I don't like the Cowboys. Those are the two I can't stand. I don't dislike the Philly players. It's the fan base. I can't stand the Philly fan base. That's what made me not want them to win because they just talk so much.
Oh,
But
and they had a whole week in a parade to prove you right because those are some of the most disrespectful, annoying fans in the history of fandom on this planet.
I think we can agree on that.
When you hit your GM with a freaking bear can at the parade,
Like, wow.
yes, no class, Philly.
So, listen, we're a fans club. We represent the fans, as y'all can see, for the fans, by the fans. We speak for the fans. Like we get it. But when stuff happens like that to where you're like literally just have no, like, every setting requires you just to act crazy, that's kind of like, what are we doing here? But when you see that, it's like, listen, I get it. Their fandom is on a
Different level.
But thankfully, we got a civilized 49er, civilized Philadelphia Eagle fan here. This show is because in the last 2 weeks we weren't able to come on. We were scheduling conflict didn't allow us to do it. But I know one thing: Fans Club gives props to where props is due. We can't troll you all year or say something all year, and then when you win the bowl, we MIA and we don't want to do a show. No, we're gonna give you your props. I don't care if it was 2 weeks ago. We needed to be documented. So, Lamar, salute to you, sir, from me first, because I had y'all losing, and clearly I have egg on my face because I thought because of your annoying fan base, y'all would lose. But no, instead, your guys came out and performed flawlessly. So, props to you, sir. David, go ahead and you can give him your props, or if you want, before I pass him the mic. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to say, congratulations on seeing your second Super Bowl in the last 5 years, 5 to 7 years,
8 years,
8 years, something I haven't seen since 1983. So congratulations to you on that, and I love the way that y'all team is really constructed, man. So congratulations to y'all on that Super Bowl, L.
Thank you.
Floor is yours, L. Talk your talk, man. Break it down. You nailed it. I owe David a guru status because David had y'all winning, and David called a couple of things in terms of Kansas City's wide receivers being MIA, not that good. And the key thing was he broke down the discrepancies, the deficiencies on their offensive line, and how y'all was going to take advantage of that. Nailed it. So I got to give it to him. But also, sir, you called it that if y'all get up, it's a problem. And you said y'all need to go up by like 2 touchdowns. So you know your team, sir. You know your team. So the floor is yours. Talk your talk. We have nothing to say. Congrats to the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. As much as I hate to say it, it ain't my team that they beat, but I respect y'all winning it all. It's all yours, sir.
Thank you. It's much appreciated that you guys have definitely recognized us winning the Super Bowl. I thought it would have been a travesty if, when previous years, when a team went to the Super Bowl, like you went through it twice, I went through it. Every year when it was a Super Bowl loss, we had a show and we had to face the music.
Facts.
We came on live and we broke down what went wrong and our woulda, coulda, shoulda. So, the fact that I'm happy to say that my team is one of the only, really, since we've been doing Fans Club, the only team to win a Super Bowl.
Facts.
I thought it was only right that we have a follow-up to the Super Bowl.
Facts.
So, much respect. Really, it should be more people on here because had we lost, it would have been about 5 people on here trolling and giving their perspective. But the fact that we won the Super Bowl, it's like a ghost town on Fans Club.
Yeah.
But that's in line. that speaks of the hate, things of that nature. So
Yes.
it's all good. I just want to just give David his props because he did call it with the Kansas City receivers. I thought it was going to be a tighter game,
Yes.
but a game that we would have the lead. Like I spoke of, I said the way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs is you got to jump on them early and make them play catch up. But man, my boys did greater than they exceeded my expectations. The defense was phenomenal. The
Yes.
defense was phenomenal. Their offensive line looked so weak against our defensive ends, which personally, I'm gonna be real. I don't think we have the greatest defensive ends in the league. You know, they're okay. They're not terrible, but they're not. I don't have Myles Garrett on the line. Josh Sweat
Not yet.
and
Not like he
yeah,
might.
Josh
Anyway,
Sweat and Nolan
Go
Smith,
ahead, go
man,
ahead. I see the
they
whispers out
balled out.
there.
Yeah, Josh Smith and Nolan Smith, they balled out. Just we've been talking about it all year, and I'm glad David is here because he's somebody that always gives us love for how our team is run. Howie Roseman is a good GM, and every move that he made this year, we've seen it pay off. Just about every move except Bryce Huff, but everything else other than that, literally like it's paid off. And our rookies played well. Zach Bond was a beast. He came through in the Super Bowl. I mean, what can I say? So, of course, y'all know I'm on cloud 9, 10, 11, 12 right now. And I'm going to continue to celebrate this, not just for this year, but it's probably going to carry me over for the next 3 years.
It's all good, y'all. Listen.
The first Super Bowl, I got a big monkey off my back because I was waiting for that for so long. You and David can testify and know that I go way back as far as being an Eagles fan. I mean, way back, early 90s, late 80s. So I went through years of waiting and thinking we had a good team and seeing your 49ers do well and the Dallas Cowboys do well and the Green Bay Packers do well and then we had to suffer through the New England years, but finally in 2017 we got over the hump. And what I want to say is this Super Bowl is more enjoyable than the last one. Even though that was the first, but this one is more enjoyable than the last one because to me this one lets everybody else know that we cemented ourselves in history. We're not a one-hit wonder. We're a two-time, we're a multiple Super Bowl champions. So that's rare category. Some teams only got one Super Bowl, but we got two and counting. Now I want to say this: I believe the roster is built to last. You know what I mean? So we're definitely gonna be in it for the next, I want to say about 2 or 3 years. If everybody stays healthy, if we can keep the core together, because that defense pretty soon, Jalen Carter is gonna want to get paid, so we're gonna have to take care of him. We got some players coming up next year that's gonna want to get paid. So we gotta, like I said, going into this Super Bowl, we have to have a sense of we had to have a sense of urgency, and we did that. And I think the next couple of years, I believe we can be in it. I know y'all gonna come back strong. And some of the other NFC teams is gonna come back strong, but I don't see us going nowhere, man. So, this is exciting times to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, I'm not putting it in nobody's face. I'm gonna just enjoy my championship, knowing that I waited a long time for days like this. So I appreciate the love and the credit that you guys already shared on the show for how we accomplished getting the job done. And like I said, I'm ecstatic right now.
Listen, you earned the right to be ecstatic. You beat the defending champs. Not only did you beat him, you walked up to him and say, "Yo, meet me outside. Y'all gotta run this fade." And y'all went outside and literally punched him in the face to where they just looked. David broke it down. Y'all made Andy Reid look old, like he was like didn't know what to do. I was like, "Yo, if this is the blueprint, you know how we kind of gave teams the blueprint for y'all last year." I'll take credit for us getting the blueprint to other teams that knew how to play y'all. Y'all literally, if that's what Kansas City gonna do, I was like, oh, they in trouble. They in trouble because y'all literally showed just get pass rush on him and just make sure like y'all neutralize everything. Only person that really went off was Worthy, and that was kind of
Yeah, and that was late. That was a lot of
y'all
garbage
ain't throwing
time.
him out.
That was with backups in the third quarter.
Crazy.
And you know what? If I can say one more thing, I don't want to be
Yours,
too long
run
with
it up.
this.
I had to
Um,
give y'all props. Go ahead, it's on you.
listen, last year, remember when we went on our little streak?
Yeah.
We were winning close game after close games, and we was like um 11, and I think it might have been 11-1 or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
But we were winning a lot of close games, pulling them out late. That's what Kansas City did all year long. They won
Yes.
a whole bunch of close games.
Yep.
And what I remember vividly is we won a lot of them close games until a team from San Francisco came to Philadelphia
Yep.
and y'all what? Punched us in the mouth.
Yep. Yep.
And I knew that if we came out and if we, was aggressive and jumped on them early,
Mm-hmm.
that they would be shell shocked, and that's exactly how that looked. Trust me, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm enjoying it, but I'm watching Kansas City and I'm like, yo, like they don't even look right. Like what is going on? And it seemed like they had no answer for the pressure. It almost seemed like they expected to just show up and and grab the trophy and go home. Like they didn't expect that they had somebody on the opposite side of the field that was coming to play and meant business. So like I said, I think they won a lot of close games. They wasn't really challenged, and a lot of them games was lucky. Look
Yeah.
at the Denver game, and
Got a little bit of
there was
help
a
from
couple of other
Zebras.
ones.
A little bit of help from the Zebras too. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't want to leave it in their hands as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, we had to jump on them early and maintain that lead, and we exceeded those expectations. So I'm ecstatic. This one's going down in the history books
As it
as
should.
as a great Super Bowl victory.
Let me read some of the comments that's coming in. Gangster Trucking. What's going on, Shane? Salute to you.
Oh, what's up,
Shane Wooden.
Shane?
Coach Shane from the Madden tournament. He said, I didn't know the Eagles defense was that good. I ain't know it either, Shane. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't know. David knew, Lamar knew. I did not know. So I'm with you, Shane.
Yeah. Statistically, we was number one majority of the year.
Yeah.
It's just when you watch our games, you don't really see it. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a whole bunch of flashy players like that.
Yeah.
But we was keeping teams like, I think the point differential was low and they weren't really scoring on us. I think we were like number one against the pass and maybe like number 2 or number 3 against the run, something like that. It was in that ballpark, but statistically we was up there. We was a sneaky good defense all year long.
Yeah, and it's like nobody, David, I guess for me, there was no like stud. Like nobody stood out where it's like, here's the big name on D. I know Jalen Carter's like the first name we think of, and I know Bond had a good year quietly. Like nobody, Pro Bowl, they made the Pro Bowl and everything. But like, you know how you can look at a defense and you'll be like, that's their, like, it was no like superstar, I guess, that like headliner that made me like, yo, this is the guy you need to worry about. Like it seemed like it rotated week to week depending on who they playing.
But
Yeah,
that
it was
can be a
pretty much a
problem.
collaborative effort from everybody. But what was the staple of our defense was the sticky coverage on the back end. Once that secondary got it together, when Quinyon Mitchell, he solidified himself as a formidable shutdown corner. I'm not putting him up there in that upper echelon yet, of cornerbacks, but you know, he was somebody that wasn't just gonna be you
What
can
up?
just easily complete passes on. And then Slay on the other side. And then when we put Coop at the slot corner, that just
I
that
know.
just solidified everything, you know, and they was balling out all year. And when you look at the stats, I mean, week after week, Mitchell was lining up against some of the top guys, and
Yeah.
he was having good games against them. So once teams start recognizing that we can't just throw on this rookie, and you know, you got a veteran with Slay on the other side,
Mhm.
you know, it just start causing problems. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was sticky coverage that I think was the staple of our defensive success throughout the season.
Go ahead, David. You was about to say something. What you was gonna say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, just because they don't have one superstar that everybody can focus on
Mhm.
could be a bigger problem because you don't know who to attack on the Philadelphia Eagles defense. You don't know who to go out there and double team other than maybe a Jalen Carter, who you can't double team because you got Jordan Davis and you got Sweat. They're not great, but they're really, really good. If you
Right.
got 11 really good players, you're going to have a great defense.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Is that what it is? Rich, welcome, sir. Talk to me, man. Listen, you and I was both wrong, Rich. I had him losing by a touchdown. I think you had 2 touchdowns.
Rich was right. Look back at the video. Rich was right. He just had it the opposite. So he had it as a blowout for Kansas City, but it was actually Philadelphia. So Rich was right. He just had his signals crossed.
You had it mixed. Rich, the floor is yours, man. Get the Philadelphia Eagles they props. Trust me, it pains me to do it because of their fan base. But go ahead, sir. It's on you, Rich.
Hey, I was in my room laying down watching the show, and then I heard Lamar talking. So I know he's talking to me. Like, where they at? I know he's talking to me. So I had to plug up and put on and then show my face. But anyway,
Terrence said he coming, by the way, L.
I'm going to go back on it. I was wrong. But the only reason why you don't know one or two players on the Philadelphia Eagles because it should be the defensive coordinator who should have been the MVP of that game. Not Jalen Hurts, because the game plan that defense coordinator put together to shut down Patrick Mahomes and make him look confused out there, make him look like he was like a second year quarterback, and it was like something totally different. Then to come to find out today that Kelsey was hurting during the season, but
he was? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kelsey was. Well, that's what they said today. I just heard it for the first time. But anyway, the only reason why the Philadelphia Eagles won, and they won the way they did, was because the world was watching the 12th player. That was the officials. They started off the game, and it was like, oh, here we go. It's about to be something. But then I guess they got that phone call. You
let them play.
Because the world is watching. We don't want to hear this officials doing this whole Kansas City thing. So, hey, listen, Philadelphia Eagles put on a show. They just did it every kind of way. Everybody was out there doing their thing. When the defense, again, I'm going to go back to that again. When the defense is putting on a clinic, that's the defensive coordinator and that coaching staff that should get the 100% credit. Now, I was talking to, I believe, I don't know if it was Lamar or Aaron, but I was telling them that it might have been Aaron, that Gilly going to get a ring. And he was telling me no. I said, Gilly getting the ring. Because ain't no way in heck, ain't no way in heck that joker doing all that, running down the sideline, out there on the Super Bowl,
mascot, dog,
out there on the Super Bowl after the game, in the locker room, that joker getting the ring. So, and I bet him $1, and we all know that Aaron don't like to bet. So when Gilly gets get that ring. I want my dollar. Because Gilly getting the ring. Because
Listen, the fact that he literally is like, yeah, like Meek had the opportunity to become like the face of the Eagles almost during the year that y'all had gone to the Super Bowl. What was it? 2 years ago when y'all hold up, wait a minute, and all of that. Like that was like Meek was like the theme song for y'all.
Yeah, that was 17.
Yeah,
That was 17 the year we won.
yeah, and now
He
it
was
just
locked up.
to now Too Short. I'm like, where did the Too Short song correlate with the Eagles? That I mean, Gilly being
That's all Gilly.
I get it, but yeah, he was part of the reason why he wanted to happen because he was annoying to me. I was found him so annoying, but he like he loved y'all, man, and to the point where. Literally, that man, like you said, Richie, you would think he played the games. How excited he was! I seen him doing snow angels and the confetti.
record right now.
He was doing interviews too after the Super Bowl on the field,
Go to Super Bowl.
like he played.
Super Bowl. He's out there and what's that? In the combine, he's already. So
Yeah,
just for the record, I got my boy. That whistle song is the greatest song. Too Short goes to our stadium
that is
and
a fact.
that live.
I'm
He
like,
doesn't go on no
where
YouTube.
the whistle become the
Listen,
anthem for the? And what is it with the Eagles getting a theme song every year? Like what? Like yo, Niners, can we get a theme song? I mean, I guess E40 technically is, but like, come on, man.
do you know why? It's one record I hate to hear. If me, Mom, Madden, me and Aaron playing, could beat me, and I'm at Philly, and that stupid 1919 song come on, it's like, oh God, just shut up. I just want to turn. I don't even want to see the score. I just don't want to hear that stupid old Superman looking, sounding song, man. Man, get here.
Well, David, there's a comment I just posted for all of y'all, and everybody on here will probably understand. Coach Shane, who is a diehard, that's gangster trucking. Coach Shane, diehard Raiders fan, said Rich got a Raiders hat on. He confused because he's so used to seeing Rich and the Niners bang bang. bang. So he's a little confused by Rich repping the Niners.
Hey, that right there should confuse you at all.
So he said, Shane, he said, listen, don't get confused by the team I use in Madden. I'm diehard Raiders all day, every day.
All it is, a game.
That's a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest completely. Especially when you sign the application that I gave you, Rich, that to be a Niner fan. You signed it.
It's like I told y'all. What I love when I play Madden is defense. I could care less about offense. I love defense. They got the Eagles on right now, man. You can't do nothing with them, and they ain't that good. Come on now. Stop it.
Look, Shane said, oh, wow, he got a whole Raiders set up on laughing emoji with the strong on. So Shane, now look, he repping his boys. The season's over, listen, David, you welcome him back. You welcome him back to the Raider fold. He back. Is he allowed to come back home?
Look, he made me real uncomfortable when I was underway watching all those Madden games, and I'm just seeing Niner. I'm like, what's going on here?
He had on the shirt too.
Facts. He got the cup too. Don't let him fool you. Show him all the cup.
Hey, Mike, and Lamar, look at your shirt. Look at your hat. You got logos on there. If you look real closely at that red shirt, it's just a red shirt. Doesn't say no San Fran on it, nothing on it. I got logos now with it. All right, logos come down with this. But when I wear a shirt, that's all it is. Red shirt. So Lamar, watch out.
I thought it was a Niner shirt, bro. That's all.
I thought it was.
Lamar, you thought like Andy. I don't want to go down that road, but you thought like.
So let me ask this question, Lamar.
Yes.
We're not going to transition just yet. I want to make sure I give everybody a chance to chime in on the bowl again to make sure we get y'all props. But you know how it is. Teams win the Super Bowl, then everybody and their mother want to snatch your players. Gainwell's a free agent. There's a couple of people that's a free agent. Is there anybody on the list of free agents for y'all that you like, we might not want to lose him, or you feel like y'all got enough? Like Josh Sweat is a free agent. So Milton Williams, free agent. Zach Bond, free agent. Brandon Graham's older, so Paris Campbell, you're not worried about him. Kenneth Gainwell, free agent. Like, out of any of the Oren Burks who y'all got from us, congratulations on Oren Burks, former Niner special team stud, getting his Super Bowl with you guys. Avonte Maddox. Is there anybody that's Avonte Maddox is a free agent? Is there anybody out of those names that I listed that you feel like, we need to replace him ASAP if he hits the market and gets snatched up?
Replace, or the way I would tackle that question is we need to hold on to. We need to sign.
Okay.
And the priority of the offseason, I think, needs to be Zach Bond. Finding a solid linebacker in the middle is very hard in the NFL. And when you got somebody that played the way he did, we need to take care of him. A lot of the other pieces, I want to say hold on to Milton Williams as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would let Sweat go because over the years we kind of been drafting edge rushers each year. But Milton Williams, the thing about him is he can play inside and outside.
Yep.
He's got the bulk to play defensive tackle. He even started out as a defensive tackle when we drafted him. But he can actually move out to the edge because he got speed. He's not slow. So I would prioritize Bond first, and then I would try and hold on to Milton Williams. And then after that, a lot of the other guys, let them see what they can get out there on the open market. But definitely Bond. Bond is a keeper.
Absolutely. Okay. If y'all see me mute your line, it's just because of the feedback. Because when Lamar talking, for whatever reason, with your phone, David or Terrence, it'll get like a little bit of feedback. So just know that I'm muting you just because of that. But I'll unmute you as soon as he's done. All right, yeah, man. Bond is a big one. I agree 100%. I'm gonna unmute y'all real quick. David, go ahead, man. What you think in terms of their free agent? You agree Bond is the biggest one? Milton Williams, who you feel for Eagles? Because when you make a Super Bowl, let alone win it, everybody's gunning for your guys. Trust me, I know. Even though we lost, we got a ransack. So go ahead, David.
I agree with him with the keeping Milton Williams because he's a younger version of what Sweat could possibly be, and he adds more to the defensive line. But I'm gonna tell you that two people from their defense that people are gonna snatch up real quick, and I'm gonna give you the reasons why. If Slade doesn't reconstruct his contract, Slade might be one of those cuts come June 1st. Huh? He might be one of those.
He got one more
cuts because of the amount of money that he's making. Another person that nobody's considering because he was hurt all year, and we kind of blamed him for the Eagles' downfall last year. But it's in high demand. But this position is in high demand. James Bradbury is going to get a look at. He's going to get a look at as a corner that could probably fix some team and be a Band-Aid for some team. And that just showed you how deep the Eagles was because Bradbury missing the whole season allowed two rookies to come and shine and freaking become known talent around the NFL. Bradbury is a decent, not great, but he's a decent corner if put in the right system. And I only say that because he fits what my team, the Raiders, need, a big, aggressive corner on the outside that we could possibly get for cheap.
You can have them.
So Slay and Bradbury might be two people that the Eagles might
It's
not
always
be.
about them.
Look, you can have Bradbury, sir. I don't think there's a big market for him, in my opinion. Bradbury is. We'll see what happens. Terrence, make sure I can hear you because I heard you in the background saying some stuff. Get an Eagles Day props. Terrence, since you here, I got an Eagle fan on. I gave him his props.
First of all,
David gave him props. Rich gave him props. Get that man props.
First of all, if you go back to the actual show, I said that they were going to win. That's number one.
Yeah. Terrence.
Let's deal with that first. Whatever I said, they
Yes,
were going to
Terrence.
win 17 to
Yeah,
14. So let's
damn.
not sit up here with them act like I'm being brand new. You know what I mean? And I think you said it best before that it ain't the team, it's the fans that we hate. The fans suck. The fans, whatever, with the exception of a few of y'all, whatever. If y'all drunk rat poison, whatever, tomorrow, I wouldn't be mad. It just is what it is. And like David said, they ain't got no class. They was up there, whatever, acting a monkey, fighting each other and everything. I'm sitting up here like, what part of the world they do this in? But Philly,
Yo, they will
what part of
punch.
the world?
They will punch other Eagle fans in the face. I'm like, what
Bro,
are y'all fighting?
they were out of they were out of control. Out of control. Ratchet. It's ratchet. And I can
Remember,
appreciate some ratchetness, but Jesus.
Terrence,
It
remember what I said. Terrence, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but remember what I said. There were Eagles fans outside of Philadelphia, and then there's the Eagles fans in Philadelphia. Big
I
difference.
Who
guess,
the
but
ratchet ones? The Philadelphia ones or the ones outside of Philly? Talk to us.
The ones in Philly, as you can see.
yeah, the ones inside, yeah, he might have a point. Yeah, the ones inside got a problem. They got an alcohol problem or something because they out of control. But they done
Crazy.
bust the GM upside their head with a beer. I'm sitting up here like, oh, y'all are just a bunch of NIGGAs, man. I'm like, Jesus, man.
What? What?
Jesus. I mean, like, y'all just don't care about nothing. I mean, but it is what it is, man. Salute to you, Lamar. Salute to Aaron. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I'm just gonna say get ready for that orange crush because we coming. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be a good time. But shouts out to y'all, shouts out to Jalen Hurts, shouts out to Saquon Barkley. In my
Hey,
opinion,
Sean. Hey, Sean.
two of the most class act guys, whatever that I've seen ever
Yes.
to wear y'all's uniform, and I mean that's ever because y'all uniform. Never mind. But anyway,
Yeah.
to ever wear y'all uniform, two class act guys, whatever. And in my personal opinion, I think that you also said this too that you guys are going to be around for the next few years. I think that is very very possible that you guys are going to be around for a few years. I think it also is going to depend on I think that you guys' defense, whatever, played really well. But I also think that at the same token, that Kansas City's offense, whatever, stalled. And honestly
David,
speaking, I heard someone say something in regards to
David
Patrick
did.
Mahomes being blitzed and things like that. And if you really watch Patrick Mahomes, he's actually thrived in being blitzed and things like that. He's never been in a situation to where, he hasn't been able to work himself out of. So I just think it was a situation to where their offense pretty much stalled. I think it was a situation to where they had people in and out the actual lineup all year, and things weren't really the way it really wasn't the way it was. Like I mean, keep in mind that Hunt really got there, whatever, towards the middle part of the actual season.
Mm-hmm.
Pacheco was running back for the most part, and then he got hurt. So there was some defining factor. It was not, but you can't sit up there and take it away from the Eagles, whatever. But in my personal opinion, I just think that, I just think at the end of the day, whatever, that Kansas City ran into a situation to where they've been doing things, they've been putting band-aids on things the entire year, and it pretty much just came back to bite them on the tail. Like Kansas City this year was a team that knew how to win. That was Kansas City this year. They knew how to win. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it came into a situation to where it was a team that was more talented, that was actually in a situation that put them there and said, you know what, whatever, we believe more in what our players than what you believe in yours. And then when you put the two next to each other, you know, that's where it came. And shouts out to I'll be honest with you, whatever. Howie Roseman has transformed his mess because Howie Roseman, whatever. I mean, y'all giving him his props now, but a few years ago, people hated Howie Roseman, wanted him
Yeah.
gone. You know what I'm saying? So remember that
I didn't
whole Chip
like Nick
Kelly.
Sirianni. I laughed at his press conference. I remember that. I thought that was one of the worst press conferences I ever seen for a
Nick
head coach.
Sirianni
If you were
or Harry Rose?
if you remember that
Oh,
whole Chip Kelly
the head coach.
situation, whatever. You remember that whole
Yeah.
Chip Kelly situation, whatever,
Yeah,
because Howie Roseman was out the door.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a situation where you guys recovered, you came back, whatever. So, shouts out to y'all. I'm not going to lower my hate no different. Whatever, I still don't like y'all. I still hate the team.
Of
It
course.
is what it is. Y'all a bunch of roaches, whatever. And you know what I
I
mean. At the end
agree.
of the day,
I
it
agree,
just
Terrence.
is what it is. You know. So,
I
but no,
agree.
shouts
I
out to
agree.
y'all. You know,
World champion
and we
roaches.
gonna stay.
World champ. You said you say Roach. Make sure you say world champ.
I
So that
guess you know
world
what I'm saying.
champion.
At the end of the day, like I said, it couldn't have happened to two better
Yeah,
people that I
yeah.
think, whatever. And honestly speaking, in regards to Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, I think it couldn't have happened to a better. And the thing is, it was crazy because I was actually at a party with nothing but Eagles fans.
Why? Why you always? You might want to switch, bro, because you like right in the middle of all the
You have to
Eagles. Like you in the net.
you have to understand it. It's not too much place you're gonna go without them being here. They're all over the place.
That is
It
true.
ain't that
Yeah.
many places.
His
So
location.
and I
Yeah,
came right up in there with my Broncos throwback in there. And
David.
and they was like, you at the wrong place. I said, no, I'm at the right place. I just don't
David,
support
is that
your team.
bandwagon going on right now? Is it bandwagon for a lot of the Eagle pop ups all of a sudden? Rich and Terrence and David. Is it just a bunch of bandwagon fans popping out of nowhere?
I'll
David,
say
I
this,
saw
whatever. The Eagles fans, whatever.
David.
I don't know, man. You know what? The team, I kind of liken the Eagles fans to Patriots fans, where when they're winning, whatever, you hear a whole lot from them, whatever. When they're when they're losing, you hearing a whole lot from them as well, whatever. I just think that the Patriots fans and the Patriots and the Eagles fans, being a person that's lived up there with the Patriots fans and how they were very crazy as well and obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a bunch of bandwagon cats because honestly speaking, those are the fans that honestly every single year they can believe they're gonna win it something. Like everybody
Okay.
talks about the Cowboys and things like that, but in my personal opinion, if you talk to an Eagles fan, whatever, the
I
first day of the
learned.
season, they all
Yeah.
think they're gonna believe they're gonna win the championship. They
Yeah.
all believe it.
Yeah, I get it. David, go ahead, sir. Let me unmute you. Thank you, T. Thank you. T, look, Dave, Lamar, as I go to David, it's documented. I've given you your props, and you know I can't stand y'all fan base. David gave you props. I don't think David ever mentioned having a problem with y'all. Rich gave his props, and then you got the hater of all haters, Terrence, who actually had y'all winning anyway, giving you props. So salute to you, sir. David, it's on you, my brother.
Oh no, I was just listening to what Terrence had to say about the very annoying Eagles fan base, but they are a loyal fan base. It's not a whole bunch of bandwagon jumpers. And the Eagles, unlike the Niners, they don't give out applications. You got to be born an Eagles fan. You got to be born an Eagles fan because they're not giving out applications.
Look, man. Listen, I know about them applications. I got somebody on the show. I gave an application to with they signed signature on it, but it's all good. I'm hold off on it until next season. Listen, man. While we there, so Terrence, we mentioned they've pending free agents for the Eagles. You know they always ransack the team and things of that nature. Because we touched on it. David, I let you touch on it. Terrence and Rich, I'll let y'all touch on it. Vaughn is a
Well,
free agent. Milton Williams is a free agent. Gainwell is a free agent. These are the notable names. Is there anybody that what do you feel in terms of should they keep them or they got enough within house that they can lose any of them and just replace them next man up?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think the Eagles will ever need Bomb. They need that boy Bomb, and I think if they don't pay him, they're gonna lose him.
Mm,
They need him. I think that he made their offense. I think that everybody thought that when they drafted the linebacker from UGA, Dean, that Dean was going to be the difference maker, but Dean's been hurt every single year. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Baum, in my opinion, it has allowed them to be able to do a lot of things on defense because he's
right.
versatile. So
Mm-hmm.
so I think at the end of the day, they're gonna have to make a decision on who they're going to keep. And in my personal opinion, I think that Baum is the dude that is going to command the most money. I know the Broncos is definitely looking at him for sure. So I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to get money. And when you think about it, the league has increased their salary cap and everything else. He's going to command a nice little bit of money.
Facts.
Pay that
So
man.
so we'll see. But I do definitely think that he's the one guy that you guys can afford to lose. I think that you can afford to lose some of your DBs and things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can afford to. I think Sweat in my opinion,
Oh yeah, I forgot Sweat too.
he
Yep.
came alive, whatever, in the championship game, whatever. But he's a Florida State dude, so I don't like him anyway. You know what I mean? But
So
he came
flattery.
alive, whatever, in the he came alive in the championship game, whatever. I mean, Sweat, when you think about it, is Sweat 38? Like he's like 28, 29, right?
Close to 30.
He
Not
is
there
30
yet.
now. He's 30 now. I just seen it the other day. He's 30.
30? Okay, so I mean, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, he's already been signed to a big deal already.
Mhm.
He hasn't really produced like that. But the thing is this: you have Carter wreaking havoc in the inside, and at the end of the day, you know, you is he expendable? Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to also figure out: do you want to have the ability to interchange and do a few different things, or do you want Carter to be double teamed, etc.? And although he can probably fight those things off, Carter's not Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't think I make a decision, man. Bomb is your dude. I think Sweat, whatever, is someone that you, if you bring him back at a lower pay. But here's the argument he can have. He can say, well, I helped bring y'all a championship. That's what y'all signed me for, right? You know, so we'll see.
Good point. Good point. Thank you, Rich. It's on you. As we get ready after this, we're gonna go to the next topic. But if you got anything to add, Rich, by all means, in terms of their free agency.
For one, the NFL is supposed to be banning the tush push coming up. So I don't know what the Eagles are going to do if they do that.
Trying to.
Well,
Get it out of here. I needed to go.
Because the head coaches are voting against it. And so now you're going to have almost 28 NFL head coaches are going to vote against that. So it doesn't mean that they're trying. They're going to do it. Because in the rules book, you're not supposed to assist anybody with the ball. So somebody with the ball, you're not supposed to go behind them and push them. That's what the Eagles are doing. They're getting a tight end and the running back, and they're pushing Jalen Hurts. And whenever Barkley's running the ball, you have an offensive lineman that runs behind him and pushes him. You're not supposed to assist any running backs or anybody with the ball. That's illegal. I don't know why
Yeah.
not throwing the flag on this. This is from Pop Warner High School, college, in the NFL. That's a rule. You're not supposed to assist. That's what Philly gets away with. I don't know why they allow it. Second of all, free agents. It all depends on if teams are going to try to just to be spiteful, try to drive up players contracts to make Philly either decide to sign or let them go. And that's their way of. Second of all, Philadelphia has been in the league since probably 1908. They only got 2 Super Bowls to show for it.
1930.
1930 is right. Tell.
Raiders been in the NFL since 1963.
1946.
Super Bowls. They only have 2. So, and then now they still have the same fight song, and they need to just change a lot of things. And I do hope the NFL do get rid of the push because it makes no sense that you out there assisting a grown man to run the ball. Let him run the ball. Let him do what he does. And you guys didn't like when the Commanders was playing y'all at the goal line when that linebacker was jumping clearly over trying to tee off on them. He should have been teeing off at Hurst's head because he had a concussion just 2 weeks ago. If I'm a coordinator, I'm saying if you're gonna do that, go for his head because we're gonna get the flag.
They only want an injury. Now here's the thing, Mark Schlereth. I don't know, probably Dave Terrence. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong.
Schlereth.
Is it
Schlereth.
Schlereth? I said it right.
Schlereth.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it decently.
I heard his complaint was that similar to what Rich saying that it is technically a cheating. He said because the defensive side they can't do the same thing. Like they can't get behind an NFL bandit where he said when he played. There was one year that he played and he was on a team and they on the defensive side of the ball, they did the same thing where they pushed the linebackers, pushed the D tackles into the gaps and the NFL overruled and said, "No, you can't do it. That's not allowed." So he's like, "Listen, I'm all
I don't
for
know.
it.
I
Allowed
don't
to
know
do
how he. I don't know how he did that because he was an offensive. He was a guard.
not him,
But
but he said he remember
okay.
being on the team and they tried it, and then it was like on a special teams play or something, and they were like, the NFL was like,
Well,
"Nah, y'all can't do that."
well, I say this, Rich. You had it right. You had it right to a degree because college football you can do it. You know what I'm saying? College football actually you can do it. Remember when Reggie
Oh,
Bush
really?
did it? Whatever when he played for USC. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that
Remember there was
accurate?
a controversy. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
David, that's allowed?
USC.
You can do that?
Yes,
Yep.
you can do that
USC.
in
Yes.
college
USC.
and
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
On the
Yep.
defensive side.
Offensive
on
side.
the offensive side. You are allowed to push and give the player
Yeah.
momentum. It's not like you're taking the ball away from him. And if anybody votes to take that 1 yard play away, you're acting like this is a play that automatically gives
Hey,
them
they
a
get
touchdown.
touchdowns on it.
It
Jalen
is a
Hurts got
play
like
that gives
7
them
of them
one.
probably this year because of that.
It's a
David.
play that gives them 1 yard, and not only is it a play that gives them 1
I
yard.
got you,
If
Jared.
you
My bad. I cut you off. My bad. Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Finish
Hey,
your thought, David. Finish your thought. I'm going to go right back
and
to
if you go back to the way when we watch football, the Eagles are not the first people to do this. Because guess what? The San Francisco 49ers did this with Steve Young. The New York Giants did this with Jeff Hostetler. Like, y'all need to stop trying to act like they invented something brand new when that was football. That was the brand of football that was being played in the 80s and 90s. Come on.
Yep.
We're
Stop
hating
eating
because
that
it's
one play
successful.
because y'all can't do it.
David, it's not 1 yard. Hey, Mike, hold on 1 second. It's not 1 yard. It's getting pushed to get a first down. It's getting pushed to get a touchdown. It's not just 1 yard. You're getting
Lamar got you.
2 and 3 yards to get a first down. Get a touchdown. So it's not just 1 yard.
Is it a play that can cause a automatic touchdown if
Yes.
I'm on my 5? The answer is no.
Not from the 5. But why you say the 5 though? Why you got to give it a 5? Why you got to give it 5 as opposed to goal line?
You gotta work your way to get to the goal line.
You gotta work your way to get there.
So we've been working to get to the goal line, and then the tush push automatic.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it, but I mean, honestly speaking, whatever it's, I don't think it's cheating. I think, at the end of the day, whatever, if your defense stops them from getting down there, then it is what it is. So stop them from getting down there.
Exactly.
Are y'all in favor of the defense being able to counter it the way that Mark Schlereth talked about?
It's impossible.
But
It's
Mike,
impossible.
Mike, if
you want your defense to counter it, here go the best way to counter it. Go back to having 340 and 350 pound defensive tackles instead of the defensive tackles that's running around at 290 pounds.
They got that on their team already.
No, not everybody, but because the Eagles offensive line is averaging 6'3", 340 pounds across the board. So get bigger than them, then you won't have to worry about that. But that brings us back to the 80s style of playing football, which nobody wants to see because everybody wants these athletic defensive tackles. The Eagles said, okay, y'all keep your cute athletic defensive tackles. We're going to go get big offensive linemen like back in the 80s, and we're going to be able to get away with just playing execute it.
But Rich, go ahead. Lamar, you right after Rich, so you can rebuttal everybody. Go ahead, Rich.
But if you think about it, I think there's only one player that I saw personally stop that play, and that was Max Crosby, when he clearly jumped over the pile, hook line the quarterback's neck, and almost broke his neck. So if that's what you guys want to happen, when these guys are jumping over to go tee off on the quarterback, on you, because it's just a matter of time. If you stop and really look at that play, every defensive lineman is past the ball. They are past the line of scrimmage. That right there automatically flagged. So to me, that play is causing a lot of flags that's not really being thrown. Going back to the quarterback, running a tight end, pushing the quarterback, and the linemen are really offsides, going straight at the guy's knees and legs on the offensive line. It's a matter of time before the offensive linemen get hurt, but they need.
They brought in a rugby player, made him a left tackle and said,
Yep.
and he said, "Hey, by the way, I have this play in rugby that might work in the NFL, and it
It's
hasn't
Yep.
worked, and y'all
exactly
all
what
hating on it. Y'all
Yep.
exactly what.
crazy.
It's all about leverage, man. They get
Y'all
nicer,
crazy.
like it's impossible to stop. It's literally Lamar. It's
Y'all-
on you. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead, Lamar.
Okay, I just wanted to comment on 2 points that I heard, and again, they came from Rich. Number one, and I know this will be the narrative moving forward, because after you win a couple of Super Bowls, the only
Uh-oh.
argument someone else can have against you is, well, we got 4, we got 5, and you only got this. Well, this is no knock on David, who I respect and love. I love you too, Rich. You just a little crazy sometimes. But 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 do you not understand that we are now only one behind y'all? We only one Super Bowl behind the Raiders. So
And
cut
y'all
that out with all them numbers.
and y'all
The
Super
other
Bowl
thing
don't
I
have
want to
dust
say is
on it.
this. The other thing I want to say is this is you talking about banding rules and this and that. And do you understand that there was something that was allowed that helped your defense win Super Bowls in the late 70s and the early
Uh-oh.
80s called
Uh-oh.
Stickum?
Pick 'em.
And your defensive backs used to grease it all up. And
Uh-oh.
y'all was known as one of the most dirtiest teams in the league. And the league was coming after y'all with all these different rule changes in the secondary for how you used to hit. Your
Mm-hmm.
boy, the man that made you fall in love with the Raiders, Tatum, was singled out because of his play. And they
Mm-hmm.
changed the rules. And you got some nerve to come after my little
Uh-oh.
tush push when your
Uh-oh.
team felt the
Uh-oh.
wrath of the whole NFL in the
Uh-oh.
80s. Shame on you, brother. Shame on you.
Oh, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
I know my history, brother. I know my history.
Hey, me too. But here I go now. Now, it's a shame, a dirty shame that the NFL has almost every Pittsburgh Steelers defensive player in the Hall of Fame. San Francisco got a player in the Hall of Fame. Ronnie Lott. You got Mel Blunt. You got Jack Lambert. You got all those jokers that hit just like Jack Tatum. And mind you, Jack Tatum was only 5'10". So if you got this little 5'10", maybe 210 guy laying you out, 6'4" wide receiver, 6'4" tight end, don't blame him. Don't blame. How dare you blame him? You got a 5'10" little joker out there causing havoc, and now you got the nerve to put Ronnie Lott in the, and you got Atwater, you got all these safeties that always
I
all
got you.
kinds of big game after Jack Tatum.
Wait.
Jack Tatum is not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, shame on you, because if it wasn't for Jack Tatum,
Fucking
people
talk,
wouldn't
Rick.
be watching the sport.
Rich. I'm a
Okay,
Raider
David,
fan.
respond to your Raider brethren.
I'm a Raider fan just like you. But if we're not gonna sit here and act like Jack Tatum didn't have a loaded up cast on his arm that he was swinging at people and hitting and knocking them out of games, Rich, cut it out.
His
Cut it
hand was
out. Like
broken.
you're not being realistic, Rich.
No,
My
his hand
and
was
my
broken.
point was this is that right now, currently, the tush push is being singled out
I got you,
as
Rich.
a play that needs to be banned. But back in the day, they were trying to ban everything about the Raiders. So
And they did.
That leave my Steelers out of it.
And they did. But hey, but for the record, David, since you want to sit there and bring up a cast, it wasn't Jack Tatum, it was Atkins. All right. So get your Raider facts right. David, don't be coming on this show lying on my boy. Jack Tatum was my boy.
Wow.
Boy.
So we had
Talk,
two
Rich.
killers. So we had two killers and cheaters back then instead of one. I'm not
Mm-mm.
mad
and
at
who
it
was
because I
the
want
man
them
that
to
was
win, but I'm also
clotheslining
going to
people?
admit it.
Everybody. Yeah, they was clothesliners. Straight head hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Atkins.
look. Shane said Jack Tatum was a barbarian. I could look. I have no rebuttal. Well, he had no teeth. Was it he the one that had no teeth? Who was it that had no front
Hey,
teeth?
Lambert.
now,
Lambert.
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 for
Oh, that's
Pittsburgh,
still.
yeah,
My
Pittsburgh
bad. My bad. My bad. Jared. My bad. Oh man, he said leave my Steelers. Oh, that no Steelers. Oh no, that I know who that is. That's Extent. What's going on, man? Leave my Steelers out of it. Listen, man, as we go to the free agents now, I want to just meat and potatoes, gentlemen, meat and potatoes, because we got a lot to cover. I want to ask y'all. Top NFL free agents and players granted permission to seek trades. I know that Debo's on that list. I heard Cooper is on the list now of where the Rams have granted him permission to seek a trade. Let's talk about free agents, top free agents that's on your list. David, you was on here first, so you get first dibs to put it out there. Who is gonna light the market on fire? Who is the one everybody want, David? Speak now or hold your peace and pass it to somebody else if you don't know.
Right now, the person that I'm looking for, because T. Higgins is going to re-sign with Cincinnati. Trey Smith just got franchised today, so he's not going to be out there. Kupp contract is too high, so he's going to get released June 1st. Nobody's going to make a trade for him. Same thing along the lines with Debo. So I'm just going to make it real simple, and I'm going to say, and I'm praying that the Raiders don't do this, either the Raiders or the Giants is going to be one of those teams that go ahead and call the Rams up and overpay for Matthew Stafford and a trade. He's going to get his $50 million from somebody. I'm praying it's not us. I don't want it to be the Giants, only because all that's going to be is those two cowards trying to save their job because they should have got fired in the offseason. But the guy who's going to come out with the bank out of the trade personnel, I'm not going to go into all the free agent personnel, is going to be Matthew Stafford. And when that dominoes fall, there's going to be another domino fall. As soon as Stafford leaves and goes to either Vegas, please don't let it happen, or New York, Aaron Rodgers is going to find his way to Los Angeles on a cheaper number, still leave the Rams in a Super Bowl window.
Why is Matthew Stafford even in the equation right now? It's kind of weird. Hasn't he done enough to keep him, or the market is just too high? It's time for him to walk.
You don't want to give a 37-year-old $50 million. You just seen what happened with Russell Wilson. You just seen what happened with Aaron Rodgers. You just seen what happened with Kirk Cousins. You want to keep him in that $30 million, easy to get out of the contract range. $50 million is too much because the guarantee behind $50 million is going to be $30-40 million. And if you add 2 to 3 years on that, it's going to be in the $86 million range guaranteed. And now you're just kicking dead money down the road for 2, possibly 3 years. The Rams, just like Howie Roseman, Snead is a very smart GM. He's going to know when to let these players go. He's going to know when to make the next move.
They do
As much as they love what Stafford brought to them, and he brought to them a Super Bowl, a Super Bowl a couple of years ago is not worth $50 million today.
Wow.
So he's going to be that trade domino that falls. Out of the free agents that's going to get paid,
yes,
it's not going to come from the running back position. It's not going to come from the guard position because, like I said, Trey Smith just got franchise tag. It's probably going to be, and this is going to be surprising because he's old, but from the middle linebacker range, it's probably going to be Bobby Wagner making some decent money because Washington is going to either have to re-sign him, and what he did for their defense was phenomenal. And then another team like the Raiders, Pete Carroll might need that veteran presence back there. So I could see Bobby Wagner getting a $12 to $15 million 1 to 2 year deal. Y'all might not think that's a lot of money, but it's a lot of money for a middle linebacker.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I didn't see Bobby Wagner as one of the guys that would be on the conversation. But listen, man, listen. Somebody got a need for a solid. I'll say solid at this stage linebacker. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Thank you, David. I'm gonna keep it moving on to the next. Lamar, what say you? What free agent? What player that's granted permission for a trade? Like, talk to us so we can have it on our radar. And also, y'all that's watching, put it out there, man. This is interactive, so feel free. I'm gonna read it. Let me know what free agents we should be watching for us. Go ahead, Lamar.
I'm going to put it out there like this. The question was, what is the big free agent that's on the market that's going to make a splash? And the way David answered it is he went right into talking about trades, which tells us that this year's free agency is not good. It's not good at all.
Wow, wow.
The biggest name that's out there is T. Higgins, Trey Smith. I don't want to snatch David's thunder, but he basically broke it down. They're probably going to be franchised and re-signed with their team. So I believe that somebody's probably going to cash in on somebody we're not focusing on. That's going to probably make a big impact on their new team. And it slipped my mind, but I think there's a free agent corner out there. The cornerback is probably going to make the most money in free agency, the cornerback position. But everything else this year is pretty weak, man. Free agency is weak. There's no big names out there. That's why teams are talking trades, because there's not that one key guy that you can look and be like, oh yeah, if we get him, that's going to make a big difference and impact our team. So I think teams are going to make a lot of small moves to improve their teams in free agency, but the trade this year is going to be the way to really make an impact move this off season.
Okay. Agreed. All right. Well, trade it is for him. You and David and Lamar kind of like, yeah, we're not impressed by the free agent market right now. Trade will be the way to go. Rich, it's on you, sir. Turn to you after Rich. You got Rich. Free agency. You agree with them? You gonna go the trade route, or is there somebody free agency that caught your eye that maybe a Raiders one?
Well, we got half our team that's on free agents, so we might have to sign some of them back. But the biggest thing out there is trying to go get some linemen for the Raiders, because you got Kansas City got a guard that he's pretty good, and that's what we need. We need another guard. We need another offensive tackle. What's going to hurt the running back position this year, free agents, because you have a ton of college running backs that's going to be out there in second, third, and fourth, and fifth round. That's going to be a lot better than all these free agent running backs in the NFL. So that's going to hurt their pocket a little bit. So I'm hoping that the Raiders go get Justin Fields, maybe for $3 million, $5 million the most, then go get it straight up in the draft to Tennessee and go get Cam, and now you have both of them. I would do if I'm a GM. I'm gonna go get Justin Fields because I'm practically paying him nothing to be on my team, and I know he's young. He's still with no injury prone. He's not injury prone. And our division, you need a quarterback who could run away from defensive ends. So again, I would go get Justin Fields, and hey, if he's talking about $2 to $7 million, I'm getting him. I'm talking to Tennessee this week over at the combine and saying and asking them what would it take for us to be at that number one spot to make sure we get Cam. Wow. And we'll get Cam, and then from then on, I'll just see the dominoes fall down the line. But I'll go get a nice guard, free agency. Again, all my Wilkins and all them other guys is hurt on defense. I'll sign my players back, but I'm signing an offensive lineman in free agency. I'm not going into the big flashy names.
He keeping it safe.
Linebackers talking about 12, 15 million. Yeah, there. If I do not want Aaron Rodgers, none of the quarterbacks that's going to be wanting $30 million and up. Nope, I'm going to get Justin Fields, who's going to produce for me. And again, go out there and go get Cam, move up, and keep it moving.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Terrence, it's on you, sir. And then I'm gonna throw out some names from the list of free agents to see where y'all got as a landing spot. Go ahead, real quick, Rich, before I go to Terrence.
And I
Um,
would
Yeah.
I try to do something to call Seattle and get DK Metcalf down to the Raiders. Get get our head coach to call Seattle. See, because Seattle's always complaining about him. He's a head case, this and that. So give up a third round, maybe second round. Go get DK, bring him down. Now you got this big receiver, best tight end. And then, hey, in the second or third round, you go get the quarterback. But again, that's what I'm doing. The big move, I'm trying to go get DK, go get me some offensive linemen, get Justin Fields, move up, and get Cam, and keep it moving.
I don't hear DK name mentioned at all in none of
That's
this, so that's a big reach.
that's the great thing about it. I don't want you to hear his name. I want us to make the phone call.
Rich just gonna wish. I wish DK would get traded. I don't think that's their main weapon. All right, go ahead. Terrence, it's on you, sir. Free agent. Who should we?
I mean, I had to wake up whatever from all this soliloquy, whatever that brother was giving. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But no, in my personal opinion, I think it was said before that the actual free agency, whatever, is not that good this year. You know, so in order to make your team better, you're going to have to pretty much play the market. You know, right now, what you have J.K. Dobbins, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones at running back. You have now. I will say this: if you can get a Chris Godwin, if he's going to be healthy, that can be a good pickup because that guy when he puts up numbers, whatever, and relatively he's been relatively healthy, whatever. I think the last 2 years he's actually gotten hurt, but he's actually been relatively healthy. You know what I mean? So and he's actually a pretty good dude. You
Chris,
got Ronnie
I gotta feel it.
Stanley at the offensive tackle, Cam Robinson at tackle, Tyrone Smith, offensive tackle. You have a guard, Trey Smith from Kansas City, Will Fries from Indianapolis, Trevin Jenkins from Chicago. You have the center, Drew Dahlman, Ryan Kelly, Coleman Shelton. Interior, you have Osa Ozawugo, whatever the Dallas Cowboys dude is, Milton Williams, Levi Osworthy, and this is crazy because it is a down year, or whatever, because Khalil Mack is the top edge rusher for the free agent. So you know it's
Wow,
down.
wow. I
Josh
heard
Sweat's
Bosa.
number
I heard
two.
George Bosa name being thrown out, and I guess potentially getting released, David, or traded. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Terrence.
Yep. Josh Sweat is number two, and Hassan Reddick is number three. And then
How's
you
that?
have
Great. That's crazy.
yep. And then you have linebackers is check this out.
I
Dre
know who I want.
Greenlaw.
Don't say my guy's name, but I got
Drake,
his
Drake,
former
Drake,
coach. I
Drake,
want him to come
Drake,
replace
Drake,
Greenlaw if he leave. Go ahead.
Dre Greenlaw, whatever, is number one. Zach
Whoever get
Bond,
him getting a steal, I'm gonna just throw that out there. Go ahead.
Zach Bond is number two. He
Don't
might
want
end
him.
up Dre may end up in Denver. You never know.
Yeah,
Nick
listen. I
Bolton is
mean, I
number
don't know if we
three.
keep him.
And then from a cornerback standpoint, you got DJ Reed, Travaris Ward, which is again another
Yeah, he
49er,
he don't want to come
and
back. Yeah,
Rasul Douglas.
yeah.
And for safety wise, you got Jevin Holland, Cameron Bynum. Don't know who those cats are. And number three, your safety, whatever,
Yeah, he
Tolonia
getting hurt.
Hafunga.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
well,
saying? So
Hufanga,
I
yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, whatever, it is not really a deep free agency. There are some players out there. I wouldn't mind the safety. I wouldn't mind y'all safety. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
Hufanga
mind
was
y'all's corner. I wouldn't mind y'all's inside linebacker. You know what I'm saying? But to have Khalil Mack as the number one defensive end, that tells
we
me a whole lot. This is bad.
You don't
You
think
know what I'm
we
Josh
saying?
Sweat leapfrogged him based on the Super Bowl performance? That just off of that, probably he freshened everybody's mind.
I'll be honest with you. If depending on the team,
You asked him.
depending on the team, Khalil Mack gets you over the top
I'll take Khalil Mack right
because
now for the price.
because 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 in watching Khalil Mack play, he still has something left in the tank. But it depends on the team. So I mean, when you look at if you look at like say for the Eagles, whatever.
Hold
If you
on.
were to switch, if you were to flip flop and have Khalil Mack whatever in the Eagles uniform, whatever, that defense would be probably at least 10 to 20% better. You know what I mean? So it depends on the team. It really depends on who they're looking at. Put Khalil Mack in freaking Detroit, and you know what I mean, on the other
Yeah.
side of that kid, the kid from Michigan, this defense now, whatever goes to a Super Bowl type of defense.
Okay. Thank you, Terrence. David, I'm gonna unmute you. It was an echo, so I had to mute like everybody line. David, I'm gonna unmute you. I'm gonna keep all y'all muted for a second. Go ahead, David. What you was gonna say, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap this segment up. After I throw out a couple of names. Go ahead, David.
Y'all looking at the wrong free agents because y'all looking for the name free agents. Y'all not looking for the value free agents. First of all, Chris Godwin contract, him and his agent got with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They moved his projected date back until March 14th, giving them enough time to come up with a deal to get him signed before the league deal was over. So Chris Godwin's going back to Tampa. It's just a formality. You got to think about guys like Mekhi Beckham, who Philly only signed for 1 year. You now know he can play left guard, and you have a quality guard out there. He mentioned Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly is one of the top 5 centers in the league. It's just because he plays up in Indianapolis and nobody knows about him. And then this year free agency class is not going to start until the second wave when all those cuts and all those big names come out. This first part of the free agency is going to be horrible. By the time those releases come, I'm telling you, Lamar, I'm not trying to take away from y'all. Slay is going to be one of them. Denver and Bolton might not come to a deal. There's a lot of free agents that's going to come in that second wave to where the free agent market is going to open. As far as Richie and that Justin Fields, I give you 4 years, and if you're not a quality quarterback by 4 years, you're never going to be one. I don't want Justin Fields in Vegas. I don't want him to come into Nevada, let alone in the Raiders Stadium.
Look, Shane agreed with Rich. He said, "Rich, I hear you." He liked the Justin Fields move for the Raiders. Go ahead, Rich. As we get ready to wrap this part up after I give the names. Go ahead.
Every time we talk quarterback, both me and David never agrees, but every time I pick a quarterback, they go out there and do their thing. I talked about Bo Nix. I talked about Jalen Daniels. And again, this year, I only want Justin just to make sure that Cam, if we get Cam is on the right track. If he's not picking up everything, so now you throw Justin in there until Cam picks up by week 3 or 4 or 5, and then you throw him out to the Wolves. But if he's ready to go, just like Russell Wilson was when he was in Seattle as a rookie, he was ready to go. Then Pete just let him go, and then now we got a quality backup. Then this way, if something was to happen to him, we got somebody with the same type of style that's going to run. He's going to, just dink and dunk or either throw it down the field, but it's going to be the same style. But you don't want three quarterbacks or 2 quarterbacks with all 3 of them got three different styles. All playbook, because you got this other quarterback. You want the quarterback to have the same way of performing, and that's why I would want him and go get Cam. So, going back, made me forget what I was going to say.
It's fine. Look, let me just.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
You don't want to free agency the first March. Me personally, I'm waiting for June. That's when the big names come off the board because now teams don't want to pay them. So I am not going out there and throwing a boatload of money at these big free agents now. No, I'm gonna let them settle down, and if I gotta wait for the draft to come up and then go, and then if I can't get the player I want, then I go get them even cheaper because Najee and all them still out there. All them running backs, all them whoever's gonna linebackers are
next.
and I'm going to wait till after I draft to go get all these other fill-in players. I'm not going free agency first week going crazy.
Okay. Thank you, Rich. And David as well. Let me unmute y'all lines if I can have Lamar, because Lamar got an echo. Make sure unmute everybody else. Testing 1, 2. All right, I just hit him. With a little bit. So it might be me. All right, Lamar. So I'm going to throw out mine for me. So right now, for me, I would like Jamie and Sherwood. If we lose Greenlaw, that's who I'm cool with going after from the Jets. Obviously, him and Salah. He had a good year quietly for the Jets, so I'm good with going after him. If we lose Greenlaw, I don't want to, but in case that happens. Anybody in the free agent market? Obviously, you said trades. Are y'all gonna go after Debo, Cooper Rush? Like what? Like what would you do, Lamar? Let me unmute you.
I think a lot of our focus is going to be on our own guys, and trying to re-sign who we can. The salary cap increasing definitely helps us. It helps a lot of other teams as well. But some free agents on our team, like Mekhi Becton, I'm already hearing he wants to re-sign with us. So I'm hoping we get that deal done because he definitely played well for us in the interior. And like I said, the main person I would like to bring back is Bond. Other than that, let's just keep getting younger. Build up through the draft. I don't really want us to make any splashes this year in free agency. We did that the last 2 years and they all paid off. So let's get younger. Let's go into the draft and get Lane Johnson's replacement because he's got about another 2 years left before he's probably going to be looking to retire. We got ahead of Darius Slay, so if he's got 1 more year on his contract, but if he happens to be let go, then that means Cooper DeJean is probably going to step in and be a full-time corner on the opposite side of Quinyon Mitchell. So the thing is, you got to be ahead of the game. That's what allows teams to still be formidable. Look at what the Rams did. They knew that they was losing. You just said his name. Oh my good, Aaron Donald.
Yes.
A couple of years ago. But the last 2 seasons they wound up drafting the defensive rookie of the years. So it's like they just filled in holes to replace good talent when they were on the back end of their career or the back end of their contract. So that's what I want to do. I want to get ahead of players that's going to be on the way out. So I definitely want to get a tackle in the draft. I know the question was about free agency, but I got to answer it this way because I don't think there's too much out there in free agency. And I want our focus to be on our own guys. And like I said, Bond should be #1, numero uno priority this offseason. Give him a good contract because he definitely worked for it. He deserves it, and he was a key cog to our defense. So that would be my focus.
All right. Respect. Look, I don't need Greenlaw going to y'all. I don't need Greenlaw and Bond. I don't need that to happen. So, no, sir. All right, man.
Him and Big Dom don't get along.
Oh yeah, Dom. I forgot. Yeah, that ain't not happening. All right, David, it's on you. If you still there, Lamar, so I can go on to the next one. Each one of y'all a chance to kind of touch on that. David, go ahead, sir. Let me unmute you and talk to us who you got. I know obviously free agent is not something you're interested in, but talk to us who are you targeting for your boys?
Oh, it's specifically for us. I'm looking for people that's going to fit the defensive side of the ball, right? We got so many free agents with Coons, with Spelling, the linebacker, with Diablo, the linebacker, and a secondary that just played under par. So if I can get a linebacker, like I said Bobby Wagner because I know that his price is going to be cheap. If I can get a Sherwood, if I can get both of them, because we now have, with the salary cap going up, we now have $108 million in salary cap spending with that increased money. So just getting those 2 linebackers and then waiting into the second wave. This first wave is horrible. It's not worth It's not
I don't
worth
know what y'all
spending.
looking at. I like what I see, man. Y'all look. Y'all wait to the second wave so we can go snatch up some of these guys. Go ahead, David.
It's not worth spending it on the offensive side of the ball. I don't want Cup. I don't want Debo. They're gonna
Nope.
you get either one of them. You're giving away a second round pick, or you're giving away one of our 2 third-round picks. And guess
Rich
what?
next. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to pay them. So I'm not interested in either one of them. All the
Wow.
offensive linemen that's out there, other than Kelly from the Indianapolis Colts or Beckham, they're not upgrades over what we had. Glazer actually played well down the stretch, so I'm not looking for a right tackle anymore. Jackson Powell Jr. is going to slide over the safety, his natural position, so I'm not looking for a center anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see the free agent market being deal for us at the left guard position. So I just waiting and focusing on the draft.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that. Thank you, sir. Rich, it's on you, sir. I think you touched on it, but here's it officially, so it's documented. Anything free agent wise, or you're gonna stick to the trade? Like, give it specific. Give me the names. The name. Well, you mentioned Justin Fields. I know that one, so you kind of did it already. But I'll let you add anybody else you needed to.
Right now, I'm just like with David. I am not going to overpay for all these guys right now. I'll let the market settle down. I'm not going to go crazy. And if I do go crazy, it might just be on one player. And that one player, I don't know who it could be. But if it's going to be anybody, again, I'm going after DK, even though he's not a free agent, but I'm making some phone calls. If I'm going to pay anybody, it's going to be DK Metcalf to come to the Raiders. And then after that, I'm just going to settle down, try to get Justin Fields, try to get all this, and then go to the rookie draft, and then wait till June, and when all those cuts start, and then go back in the pot again, and then, sort of like that. But I am not going after none of these guys right now because a lot of them is like over 30 years old, 30 and over, and they're not worth.
Your age is horrible. Go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead. You good, Rich? That's everything? You good? All right, perfect. Go ahead.
As far as Lamar is talking about going in the draft and getting younger players, he ain't going to no draft getting younger players. He going to Georgia. You're going to Georgia to get all your players. So go look at your Georgia players.
That's probably accurate, Rich. Then again, they already got what they needed to accomplish. So
got some linebackers, bad boy. Now, if you got a lot that you don't have to overpay, is him. So hey, you might as well keep that Georgia Bulldog thing, that the theme going on, and go get him. And forget about this linebacker that you're talking about that you're gonna overpay. You might as well go pay this boy $5 million, $7 million, and you're gonna have a bigger, faster linebacker you got now.
Okay. Lamar, quick rebuttal before I go to Terrence on that.
All I'm gonna say is the Georgia boys work. You got ring. You got a ring. So can't argue that.
All right, Terrence, the ball is in your court, sir. Talk to us about Denver. What free agents specific are you targeting, or are you just like them? You're gonna wait till June and when they do the cuts and all of that. What you want to do?
No, I think honestly speaking, in my opinion, I know everybody's talking about Debo don't have it. Debo, I would take Debo. I would pick Debo up. I think Debo has to kind of prove himself as well. So I think he may be in a situation at this moment in time that yes, he'll have a big contract, whatever. But I think given the circumstances, whatever, it will pay off. Everybody keep talking about some, no disrespect, but I mean no disrespect, but I'm gonna be disrespectful right now. But y'all Raiders talking about people coming to y'all as receivers and stuff. What quarterback y'all got that the receivers gonna want to come there? Like, I mean, who's lining up to say I'm gonna come and play for y'all? Y'all don't have nobody else that's quarterbacking back there. Nobody want to play with. I mean, let's be for real. So, I mean, at the end of the day,
you muted Rich, so he can't hear you. Go ahead, Terrence.
I mean, who wants to come there? Who wants to? You can keep talking about DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf ain't coming to y'all, bro. Who you? Oh, so you're gonna say I'm gonna go get Justin Fields or whatever, and DK Metcalf is gonna say, yeah, bet. Are you crazy? That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. You know what I mean? Come on, man. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have a rookie that played really well, and you have a hungry Debo Samuels. You have a hungry Cooper Cup, and at the end of the day, whatever they might have to come down on their price a little bit because they have been hurt. But at the end of the day, whatever I think those two gentlemen, whatever of anybody out there right now are the hungry dudes, whatever, and maybe looking to prove themselves
Yeah.
because with Debo, at least with him, like one of the biggest issues that we have, and I don't know if you guys read it before, but if you've ever paid attention to Sean Payton's offense, he's always had players that can do everything. And we don't have that at the moment in time. Yes, you have Mims that is speed guy, this and this and this and that, but can't play running back. You can put Debo in a running back. You can put him in the slot. You can put him in. You can split in. You can put him wherever to create those mix matches or whatever. And those are the problems that we have from an offensive standpoint. Every team was able to see us coming, and even though they weren't able to stop us, you know what I mean, for the most part, but they were able to see us coming. We also need a tight end as well. You know what I mean. So are you going to go back in the draft and get another tight end? It just really depends. You know, so it really depends on what it is that you're looking for. At the end of the day, for us, I do believe, in my personal opinion, that our core players that we're going to bring in new this year are going to be pretty much your rookies. I hope that Genty falls down to the bottom, but if he does fall to us, whatever. If he doesn't fall to us, that's fine. I'm okay with getting Judkins from Ohio State. I'm okay with getting him. And the thing is, whatever is not. The great thing about it is that Big Ten running backs usually don't have a lot of tread based upon the fact that they're used up, whatever, so much. But in this situation, Judkins was in the SEC, whatever, played pretty well. He didn't get overrun and things like that. You know, so you have some players in there. I also hope that Elijah Royal falls to us, whatever, the kid from Miami. Hope he falls to us as well. He's an athletic tight end, big tight end that will probably run somewhere between the 4.4, 4.5 range.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Has great hands. And so this team, honestly speaking, when I look at it from top to bottom, I think that we're going to have to draft really well. I think you grab Genty. I think you possibly grab Arroyo, whatever, if he falls in the second round, because he might not fall to the second round. And there's a bunch of different kids in there. You got the tight ends, you know, from Penn State. You got the one from Bowling Green.
So you're not so focused on free agency as much as you are.
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the pieces that I would want would be an inside linebacker and a receiver. I like Javonte Williams, but the problem is that I don't know if he's gonna be the same as he was before the ACL injury. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was the ACL and PCL injury that he had. So I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be the same dude, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have a second-year quarterback that you're gonna have to build onto, and what better way to build onto him is by bringing in someone that needs to prove it with a Debo or a Cooper Cup. Now, honestly speaking, would I bring in Cooper Cup? Not really, because we need somebody that actually has a little bit more athleticism and speed. You already have Cortland Sutton there, who's a bigger receiver.
I like Cortland, man. Yeah, he's grown on me.
Also have some other receivers that.
Yeah, he's grown on me. I don't know what happened with your audio, Terrence, but it's all good, no problem. Listen, he helped transition us to where we are now as we get ready to come to the close. Probably after this. What happened?
Today.
Oh, you break it up, Terrence. So I'm gonna move on to the next topic. We're on the NFL Combine now that's here.
Draft that we build this team up, but we do. If you can get a Greenlaw, cool. If you can get a Bond, whatever, cool. You know what I mean? But I really think whatever that the way that our team is going to go is going to be similar to how. I hate to say it, how the Eagles kind of built their team up. They built through the draft and made some sacrifices and kind of they kept some of the core older guys together, but they built, you know, over time, and they built from the front back. And I think that right now on defense, we're pretty good. You know, I think that maybe get an athletic linebacker that's a stop that can plug the gaps and get things done, which is Greenlaw, in my opinion. But I'll take those two. Either Debo or Greenlaw, or whatever, you know, take those two guys, whatever, and then everybody else, whatever. I'm cool with just waiting on.
Got you. Let me let y'all know as a Niner fan, I'm gonna give y'all. I'm not even gonna hate. You get Debo, you're gonna get a hungry Debo because we did not utilize him properly. Cal forgot how to use him this year. No idea what happened, but he just forgot how to use him. So whoever does end up paying him, you're gonna get a very hungry Debo. You're not gonna get the crispest route runner, but you just got to give him the
Can
ball
y'all
and
hear
space
me?
to create. Yeah, yeah, we move. Thank you, Terrence. We good. Can you hear me? I don't know what happened with Terrence audio or why he can't hear me, but we good. So let me move on, man. So
Can
listen,
y'all hear me?
Terrence, we good. We moved on. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Lamar, we are now at the combine, sir. Talk to me, man. If there's who you feel, I just need give me one or two players that you about to make their money based on the combine this weekend. Talk to me.
No specific person per se, but I'm definitely paying attention to, like I said, the tackles. And there's a lot of defensive tackles in this draft. Okay, defensive tackle is a position that's deep. So I'm interested in seeing how they perform because, one thing I love about this year's draft is that we have the number one draft position that every team wants. So being where we are, you can kind of just see how the board plays. We already got the Super Bowl ring, so we're just gonna restock on areas of need for the future. And so D tackle and the tackle position is the areas where I'm going to be paying attention. But of course the names that you're going to be watching, that we're not going to have any stake in getting them because they're going to go early. I'm interested in seeing how Gentry, how he's going to run, and also you know Cam Ward, how he's going to look, and well, Abdul, he's looking like he's going to be a no show at the combine. Abdul Carter, but these are people who I'm going to definitely be interested in seeing how they perform, um, and and see how the now the combine is one thing, but how you play is a totally different ball game, But
Yeah.
but definitely, I'm interested in seeing how these guys run and how they look out there. Just a few names that I could throw out there, but I don't think these are guys that we're going to target.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, y'all picked so late. Who knows? But yeah, thank you for that. All right, Rick. I mean, David's going to because David was here early too. So David, go ahead. Talk to us, sir.
Ran a. Can you hear me? Okay. So some of these guys already started making their money. As James Pierce just ran a 4.47 today at 250 pounds as a defensive end, which is so freaking crazy. So he just solidified himself in that first round conversation easily. All the defensive tackles, and when I say all of the defensive tackles, you can start with the two kids from Texas A&M. You can start with Shamar Stewart and Shamar Turner. Like I was just telling Terrence earlier, Stewart has the highest ceiling. He's been a five-star prospect since he went to college. But Shamar Turner, at 295 pounds, he just moves, in my eyes, better at the defensive tackle position. You have about 7 tight ends. You can start with the top 3 and the guy from Michigan. You can start with the guy from Penn State. You can't leave out Fanning, who caught 100 balls as a tight end this year. You can't leave out Arroyo, who is really a wide receiver hybrid tight end for Miami. His numbers, the 45 catches don't look like a lot, but Miami has so many people to feed that it was ridiculous. And in the name of somebody who should have came out last year from the tight end position, you got Aronde Gasson Jr., 6'6", 230 pounds. You don't teach that type of height in the National Football League. So depending on whether he plays wide receiver or tight end, and what he runs, because if he runs anything 4.5, 4.6, his draft stock is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the running backs. I can start from the bottom of the list with the running backs because I'm in love with
Just give me
Dalen.
two. Just give me two. Rich, you next.
Okay, I'm going to start with the two people that nobody's talking about. Dalen Sampson from Tennessee,
Yeah, I
speed
don't.
merchant. He has good vision. Goes down a little too light, but I don't know if that was the bad play from Tennessee offensive line
Mm-hmm.
or what it is. But he still put up my crazy numbers. And then I'm going back to the University of Miami. I love Damon Martinez. Like we can talk about all those top running backs, and we'll get into that when we get closer to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But the two on the bottom that nobody's talking about, I'm watching their tape over and over again, and Martinez and Sampson are just both crazy.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for that breakdown. Rich, it is on you, sir. If you want to chime in, anybody on the combine wise that you're looking for that's gonna go make their money, or you like, you know what, not yet. I want to wait till we get a little closer.
I'm just hoping that Travis gets the run. Even though Cam's not really working out, but I want to see if he's like a 4.4, 4.5. And then I want to see the wide receiver from Arizona, the 6'5" guy.
McMillan, yeah, he on my radar. Yeah, McMillan. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know why you're on your radar.
look, I'm about to lose my receiver.
But anyway, there's another 3 or 4 wide receivers in this year's draft that they all run a 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on their height and their hands. And if their hands look good, so now you got a sneaky guy in the draft later on that you can easily pick up. But I want to see Boise State running backs his speed. If his speed matches anything that 4.2, 4.3, I don't mind Raiders scooping them up if Cam and Shador's gone. But even though I don't really want Shador, but if Shador and Cam is gone and we got to go get a running back, so let's go get him. And if we do get him, then I'm moving on. I'm not getting Justin Fields. I'm probably getting Aaron Rodgers, somebody like that. Somebody that's going to do something here and then for next year's draft where you have more better quarterbacks coming out, and I'll just wait till next year to pick up a quarterback. Or later on in the second or third round, pick up Dart in the second round if he's there, or pick even the kid from Alabama, big, strong, nice throwing motion. It's just his footwork you got to work with because he goes on his back heels too much and he don't really know how to work a defense. So with Chip Kelly and Tom Brady guys getting on it, and then this way, Thomas can stop yelling and beeping about we ain't got no quarterback and he act like somebody out. Get out of here, Terrence.
Get out of here, Terrence. Terrence, it's on you. Thank you, Rich. It's on you, sir. Give us a breakdown of
Why does it keep kicking me out?
to get that bag this weekend.
Listen, man. I mean, it's gonna be a few of them. I think that Rich said as well. Whatever the receivers, whoever runs a low 40 is gonna put themselves whatever out of position, whatever that they shouldn't be drafted in the early round. Whatever, it happens all the time. You know what I mean? So some of these guys can't catch a hot piece of tar. You know what I'm saying? But they can run a 4.1 or 4.2. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of technicians. In my opinion, I don't think the value of the draft is in the first few rounds from a receiver standpoint. I think you got a few that are going to be good, but there's a few guys, whatever, that are technicians. I think you have, and call me a homer if you want to, whatever. I think that you got a few guys, you got a few receivers from Miami, which in my opinion are going to be great pros at some point in time. The one person that no one's really talking about is a running back that's from SMU that was also from Miami as well, which in my opinion he's probably going to be a great pro. And when you go and you look at all the tread that he has on his tire, he really only played 1 year. He really only played 1 year because every year prior to that he was playing receiver. so he played a little bit, but he had people that was over him.
Mhm.
And then he also when he played running back. He played running back in one game for Miami the year before last when they played against Clemson, and he played really well.
Okay.
But then he really didn't play running back full time until he went to SMU. And so he has a lot of tread on his tire, man. I think that he might fall to the second, third round. I think that any team that's going to pick him up is going to get someone that has a lot of skills and doesn't have a lot of injuries. He played receiver and running back in college and excelled pretty much at both. And at the end of the day, whatever, if you can put him in special teams where he can return kicks, return punts, even though special teams is not a big thing that they look at right now, based upon the rule changes and things like that. But you got a situation, in my opinion, where that kid would be a huge pickup for someone, as a team. And I'll be honest with you, whatever, if Denver can pick him up, whatever, I think that'd be a huge pickup because he can catch the ball. He can definitely run the football, has a lot of speed. I think he was timed at a low 4.4s, high 4.3. And you can see that as you can see when he played for SMU this year, he literally whatever was the focal point for that team. So that particular kid, whatever, I like him. We need a running back because I'm not sure what Williams is going to do this year. So and we need a tight end, whatever. Whether we get a tight end in the free agency or something like that, but we need that. We have some DBs, whatever. So we got some things going on. I think we can draft for the future, but there are some key points that we need to figure out, whether it be running back, whether it be I don't know if I really want us to draft another receiver in the top 2 rounds. I wouldn't mind going to get a kid like Jacoby George and saying, okay, you're going to be my fifth receiver right now, whatever, and have him just work his way up because the kid runs routes, whatever, and he's one of those types of guys, whatever, that you think you count him out, and the next thing you turn around, he has a 10-year NFL career where he averages between 800 and 1,000 yards per year, based upon the fact, whatever, that he just knows how to runs route and he has dependable hands.
Okay.
So you have a lot of kids. You have a few of those guys. You got you got the Penn State guys, whatever you have.
Yeah, they're moving up the ranks. It seems like a lot. Yeah,
You got
time.
you got the Ohio State receiver, who really no one's talking about because he was overshadowed by Smith this year, Umegu or whatever his name is, whatever. You have a bunch of defensive players, whatever, that are out there. If I'm the kid, the defensive end from Georgia, in my opinion, was their best player this year.
Okay.
The dude that played outside, that was their best player this year. So anyone that drafts him is probably going to get someone that's going to be special. And there's just, I mean, you have a few players out there, man, that when you look at it, whatever, they're going to be pretty good. The thing is, from the ACC standpoint, a lot of these kids ended up going back to school, whatever, to get that NIL money. So you didn't see a whole lot of kids that decided to come out. They decided to go back to school and get that NIL money, whatever. From the SEC standpoint, SEC, in my opinion, was a little bit down this year. They were a little bit down this year, whatever. I don't think that, in my opinion, Jalen Milroe, whatever, should have gone back to school. I think he made a terrible decision turning pro because I do not think he's going to have a long career. I think he's going to probably end up being a journeyman, where people will bring him in to see if they can do something with him. But I think ultimately his career is going to end up fizzling out, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you, Terrence. I will just mention my just two. I'm going for size. I need size. I'm staying with Michigan. Give me Kenneth Grant. Give me Will Johnson at cornerback. Give me Kenneth Grant at D tackle. Big 331 pounds. I'm good with that. And Johnson is 6'2". I liked him all this year, so I don't really have a problem with him. That I need size because we're losing Javarius. He's gone. We overpaid for Javon Hargrave. He did nothing. So, yeah. Look, safe bet. Go with somebody from Michigan. So I'll go with Michigan. Go ahead, Rich.
I'm
And
noticing.
McMillan also, but that would be later on. That wouldn't be first round. I just like his size, and he looked really good on tape. Go ahead, Rich.
I'm noticing a theme from, and I forgot to mention that I don't know what happened with Sean Payton and Rob Bronk, the tight end. But him and Sean got real cool, like on the set on NFL football, whatever it was. But I heard that he's been working out lately to go play for the Broncos. So if that pans out,
I don't want that. I don't want that.
but listen, you have, it's just like if you and Mike, you're real cool, but now you ain't running back no more. Now Mike is coaching. He gives you the ball. So don't be shocked if you see Gronk playing for the Broncos this year, because Timmons keep mentioning a tight end. So I think that's what Sean believes that he needs, and that he has somebody that's put together already instead of trying to work on.
Tyler Warren. What's that? What's my man? Tyler Warren. What's my man from Penn State? You think
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah, Tyler Warren.
Yeah. Thank y'all,
The one
gentlemen.
kid, the one kid the one kid that a lot of people are talking about, but he's secretly in the first round as the kid from North Carolina, Omarion Williams or whatever. Big kid, can run, has a lot of speed. I think he's going to be a special back at some point in time. But I'm telling y'all right now, the steal of the draft is going to be Brashard Smith from SMU.
All right, listen, man. Ain't no biasness there. I feel you at all. Listen, I think I personally, I like. Look, I'm not a big Penn State guy, but I do like Kobe King. I'm not gonna lie to you. So if he somehow slip, maybe I'll say projection is fourth round for me, but he could go. Yeah, I say fourth. Not fourth round. He might go later because I'm totally be off. But I'm not putting no projection out here because last year when I did my mock, the Cowboys got everybody on my mock draft. Like literally, like 6 out of 8. So I'm not writing no mock, David. Don't ask, because not doing it. They got everybody I put on my mock draft. So I basically drafted for the Cowboys. But thank you, gentlemen. David, go ahead. Anything you want to say before we get ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, like Terrence brought up Smith. I brought up the two backs and they're not even at the back end. But I'm telling y'all right now, and you can mark this down, there are going to be 5 of these backs that get drafted. I'm just talking about in this year alone, in 2025, that they will have over 1,000 yards from scrimmage in the NFL as rookies. I see about 7 of them having long careers. I say the same thing for the tight ends, because there's about 6 of them, and there's this D tackle class is loaded with about 12 potential starters. This draft is going to reset and reload the NFL for a very long time. There's going to be 90 people in this draft. I'm not even talking about the 250 that got invited to the combine. But out of the 255 that's going to get drafted and play this year, 90 of them are going to have 8-9 years productive careers in the NFL. That's how deep and talented this draft is. So I'm telling you, half the people in this draft right now.
Any vacancies though at the running back position? That's a lot. That's a lot. It's a big prediction. Go ahead.
It's a lot, man. You got it. I'm telling you.
There's so many teams. I'm not going to run through the list of people that will be here all night.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the specialty of these backs, like we're not even talking about Omarion Hampton because we already know he's a home run.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the kid from Iowa because we know he's a home run. Both the backs from Ohio State
are for him yet though. For some reason, I'm not. So he hard nosed though. I ain't gonna lie, but he ain't.
Who's that?
I thought you said Arizona State. My bad. Wrong person.
No, I ain't even get the Skitterable. I'm talking about Iowa State. I'm talking about Calvert from Iowa State. From Iowa.
Okay.
The running back position, the D tackle position, the interior offensive line position, and this draft is so crazy.
Look, I told you I'm going Michigan for me first 2 rounds, please.
Who doesn't want a 340-pound defensive tackle that runs a 4.81 because he ran today?
We definitely need him. We need him. All right, man. Listen, man. As we wrap this,
Also,
go
real
ahead,
quick,
Terrence. Go ahead, T.
don't sleep on the defensive end from Virginia Tech. He's a really good. He's pretty good as well. Nobody's talking about him either, but he's really good.
Defensive end from. Yeah, I don't hear about him at all.
Yeah, he's really good. Really
You
good.
talk,
I think his name is Peoples or something like that. Forgot what his
yeah.
name is, whatever. But yeah,
Well,
he's
they
good.
got him listed as a defensive tackle. They got him like between edge and tackle because he's 270 pounds, but he's a monster.
Yep.
Oh, if he 270, that's a beautiful size. If he could move pretty well. I'm not familiar with him like that. I got to get familiar.
He's very rangy dude, whatever. And you're not gonna block him with just one person. Got to double.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Aeneas Peoples. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. All right. Cool. Thank you for that. All right, gentlemen. We're going. Oh, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead, Rich.
It's just curious to me that I want to see how many Ohio State players that Chip Kelly brings in or try to get draft because he just won with them national championship, and that they know his scheme already. You don't have to teach them again. One thing a coach hates to do is reteach something. So now if you bring in players who knows your system, you ain't got to go through all that. So I'm curious to see how many players that he gets to bang the table for.
Rich, he was supposed to keep that a secret until April.
Well,
Can't believe that shit. That's still crazy to see. Is that Chip Kelly? Yeah, they kicking the tires again, Terrence. He gets another shot. That man.
OC ain't no head coach.
I'm like, really? Kicking the tires again? We've seen this book before. We've seen this movie, David and Rich. I seen it firsthand. Well, he was a head coach, but still. All right, listen, man. We touched on the Super Bowl. We gave the Eagles their props as we should, because we don't duck the smoke on Fans Club, because had they lost, we definitely would have did the show probably immediately after and trolled them, but they won, and we was like, that sucked that we got to get them props, but we gave them their props. Again, salute Aaron, salute Lamar, salute Philip, everybody that's Eagle fans that's out there, those that I know of, and y'all bandwagon fans too, salute to y'all. Gilly, congrats. You listen, man. You did your job, and you was out there. You willed them to get stay motivated and amped up, so they got their win. So again, congrats to them. And Too Short on getting his song promoted again and upping his streams even more for a big record. So yeah, man, we touched on that. We did NFL free agency and potential trades. Players that have the ability to seek trades. And then we touched on the NFL Combine. For those that want to stay on for the last 15 minutes, because I promise that we are sports and entertainment. What is your thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance as we wrap this up? David, Terrence, I think I'm going to start with you because there was a lot going on in that performance. So if you've seen it, talk to me.
Listen, man. I was glued to the TV. I was sitting up there like, oh my God. You know what I mean? The kid, in my opinion, whatever, it was a really good performance. I don't know what everybody else thought about it. A lot of symbolisms and things like that, whatever. I mean, if you've ever watched Kendrick Lamar, whatever, I'm not saying I'm a connoisseur of his music like that, whatever, but if you've ever watched him, you know what I mean, you know that he's not just a rapper. He's somebody that's actually trying to say something. So it doesn't surprise me, some of the things that he did, because if you pay attention, that's actually who he is. I think that people get it twisted that he's from a community that's written with gang violence and things like that, but he actually is a person that actually has something to say. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think that one of the biggest things that for him is that he's articulate. He can actually rap. He can actually do a lot of things. And the fact, in my opinion, that Drake brought the best out of him, and he just continued that momentum. And in my opinion, it was one of the first, one of the few Super Bowl performances that actually stayed and watched the entire halftime performance and was like, "Oh shoot," you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like literally, like people were complaining about it, but I've seen people actually in church talking about the performance. You know what I'm saying? And literally, whatever it was, it was one of those performances, in my opinion, that will probably go down as one of the performances that if you knew what he was talking about, that it was good for you, but for the people that don't, it was boring to them or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't really understand, and a lot of it people don't really understand whatever that it really wasn't for them. You know what I'm
That's
saying? He was trying to say something, whatever, at a higher level, at the same time be entertaining, and also get his licks in on Drake as well. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool.
Thank you, sir. Good breakdown. I'm gonna touch on some of that. David, it's on you. Rich, you after David if you care to share. And yeah, David, it's on you if you watched it. Give me your thoughts, sir. You might
I
have been.
watched it fully, and the only thing I have to say for somebody who listens to music less and less, the message that man put with that performance was unreal. Not even to just go ahead and punch Drake, but what he was trying to say from a political standpoint, what he was trying to say for what this country kind of needed to say, and I can only stay on that topic for a very short time, obviously. Was great in its value for what he was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you bring two ex-girlfriends on there while still performing that show, yet Drake just stay away from him. Y'all two different people. Yeah, when you got your ex Serena crip walking and in that video, and then you got the other young lady up there singing, doing another song. Hey, Drake, you just need to leave that man's name out of your mouth because you are not like him.
But overall, that halftime, in my opinion, was one of the top 5 halftime performances of all time. And this is coming from a guy who has moved further and further away from music.
Wow.
But to still just to sit there and be overly entertained by the message that he was trying to deliver, by the way that he still kept his rap battle and his promise to, hey, Drake, you trying to sue me over this? I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to show the whole world we're on 2 different levels and still entertain everybody. Great performance by Kendrick.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Rich, what say you, sir? I want to make sure it's documented because we covered Super Bowl. Can't cover Super Bowl without something that went viral from the Super Bowl that was probably more popular than the game itself, since it was a blowout. Go ahead, Rich. What you think?
Hey, from the car to the jacket to the sneakers to the people that was in the background performing, everything had a message, and you had to really know him to know the message that he was coming across, and to know that Drake was there and saw all this stuff live. And it wasn't just Drake he was talking to.
No, he wasn't in the building though. I don't think he was in the
building.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't in the building. He wasn't
in the building.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to cut you over. I want to make sure. I ain't hear nothing about that. Go ahead, though, Rich.
In the building. Anyway.
Trying to put a spin on it.
Because he was in the building because he was going to see or do that show because he was trying to sue him for stopping playing that record on the radios. So he was there just to see. And when it came on in the beginning, when the first note hit, and then he said, because he's gonna sue me. So then I guess Drake was in his chair smiling. And then when he came back and hit him with it, and he got up and but anyway, it was
you must have some inside information that I don't know nothing about, Rick. Go ahead, though.
It wasn't just Drake the man was talking about. He was talking about the Peach Man that was sitting up in the bleachers too, sitting there looking down. So Peach Face was making doing his look like, is he talking about? Oh yeah, hell yeah, he's talking about it. It wasn't just Drake. So when he did the American flag, he had Uncle Sam out there. When he did everything he did was, and then just to have these people talk, just to talk about. It wasn't not one person out there of the other color out there performing. Come on, Super Bowls that you've been performing in, and nobody nothing. Now you get one Super Bowl, and now you're gonna sit there and talk, and it's just crazy how everything that this man put into the show, every little thing, and even it's like one of those movies that you watch and you watched it again, like, oh, I didn't see that part, and then you see it again, like, oh, I didn't see that. That's how performance was. So you would have to really look at it several times
Yes.
to understand
Yeah.
the stuff you missed
Yeah.
because you was hooked into the song, but you didn't really pay attention to the performance
Yeah.
and everything else. So he went 360 degrees for that show, and people still don't know the messages that he had, the hidden messages that he had in almost everything that he did that day.
Listen, man, you touched on a lot of stuff, and as I close this is going to close up our show. But I watched it live. When I watched it live, one being somebody that used to do music and dabble and do music and stuff like that, and realizing rap is very hard to do, like in a setting like that. It ain't Usher where you're dancing on skates and got 100 back. He got a bunch of background dancers and he's rapping. It's a whole different. He ain't dancing. He's rapping, so it's a whole different feel for that type of environment. And then, like you said, he's conscious, so his rap is you got to listen. He's not one of those sugar cookie cutter rappers that you can just throw out something that you gotta listen to his lyrics. So when I first watched it, I was like, it's okay. I had to go back and watch it like the next day and the next day. And when I watched it the third, fourth, fifth time, I said, yo, he had so much stuff in this performance that was like, it made it phenomenal. I was okay first time, but going back watching it, I was like, yo, the intricate details he had was like phenomenally thought out, man. And his background dancers did their thing. They did their thing. And dude, I've never seen a dish record get popped off at the Super Bowl like that. So not only one, he did two of his dishes in that. He did two of the dish records during that performance. Everybody talk about just not like us, but he also the second or third song he did was one of the dish records that he did to him. So he did two of the dishes. Had Samuel Jackson doing the narrating as Uncle Sam. The board was the game, the game of life. Like, bruh, red, white, and blue on man. He did everything that needed to be done. So in my mind, one of the best performances I've seen. Not initially. When I seen it, it was okay. When I went back and watched it a couple more times, I had a whole new appreciation for the intricate details that he put into that. And when he looked at the camera and said, "Hey, Drake, I hear you like him young," and he looked in the camera, but made sure he didn't say the PDF file part of it. He let the audience say it. I like, man, genius. So, yeah, you would think a song that came out in March of last year, and still he won 5 Grammys in 1 week, and then performed on the Super Bowl and did a diss record the same week. So applause to that man. Go ahead.
Now the thing with Drake is that Drake brought him out when he was like 14 years old, whatever. But then everybody's Drake sitting there telling everybody that he's lying, but
Right.
he's around that man all the time on tour and everything, and then he sees all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he talked about, he saw it. He personally, it wasn't something that he heard about. He saw it. So, and then for him to sit there and think that it was Drake who was behind killing X. I'm not talking about
that was a little subtle. Yeah, with the X on the it was real subtle.
and all kinds of stuff. So he was letting Drake know that I know everything that I'm out here doing right now. I know.
You're a very creative artist. As I close this up, when you got people interpreting, you got fans interpreting what you did because your art was that creative. That in itself speaks volumes, because most artists today are not thought-provoking, so you don't have to decipher anything. But the fact that he literally had it where even today, 2 weeks later, it's still like, what was he really saying? Because we can't catch everything, because he ain't going to confirm or deny. You just got to try to decipher it. But it was definitely messages in there that was not, if you want a cookie cutter, that was not what he not even that kind of artist. So the most you was going to get was All of the Lights and Luther, them 2 songs that he performed. Everything else was not cookie cutter. You're not going to get that from him.
Only 2 artists knew what he was talking about that whole night.
Mm-hmm.
That was him and Drake.
Facts.
Everybody else got to sit there and figure things out. But the two that knows everything, it's those two.
Look, when Samuel L. says, "Do you know how to play the game?" I was like, bruh, that's like over your head. You literally, that got so many meanings to it. He's in an industry that literally likes to front. They put up a whole everything's it's smoke and mirrors. Man, listen, he don't play the game because he pop up when he pop up and then he go away. Like he don't want to be famous. Like there's so many details to it. So salute to him. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it since we touched on the Super Bowl. It's only right that we touched on really what was even more popular than the Super Bowl was Kendrick Lamar's performance. So appreciate y'all for being on. Listen, man, thank you to my panel for coming on here tonight and representing Fans Club Live Show for the fans, by the fans. Yes, we got merch. Some of y'all asked about it. We got merch. It's available. All you got to do is subscribe to us, hit us up, let us know you're interested. We still got game night coming. Cross my fingers. It looked like I got a game this weekend. We gonna see coaches. Y'all gotta respond. I can't do nothing if you don't respond on the Discord, but some of you are. Go ahead, Rich.
Both me and Lamar is ready to go for the start of the playoff game. So you just gotta let us know when you're ready, because both of us are ready.
I'm waiting to make sure every coach has had at least one. All I need is one. I'm not even stretching out. I need them to get one because some of the new coaches have not played under the lights. I have to get them at least under the lights, and then we can go from there. But some of them have been responding. There's a couple of them that haven't, so I might have to replace them. But we're progressing well. So March is happening. Either way you look at it, because March right around the corner either way. So, all right, go ahead.
Hey, David take Terrence's spot. No talking. But David's ready to go. I'm letting you know now.
I heard. He told me it's just his schedule. If he can work it out schedule-wise, he good. But Terrence won't be in this tournament anyway. He told me that right now. He ain't got it on the flexibility schedule-wise for this tournament that's coming up. So he good anyway. That's why I don't have him on any of the teams right now. But we'll cross that bridge very soon. So be on the lookout. Game night's coming. But thank y'all. Salute to my panel. Follow us for all those that's watching us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Same name on all platforms, Fans Club Live Show, for the fans, by the fans. Rich, I appreciate you hanging out with me to the end because, listen, man, they had to get off. So I appreciate y'all that was watching, man. Y'all have a good night. God bless. We'll holler at y'all later. Let's go, Fans Club Live Show, for the fans, by the fans. Let's get it.
Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. This is Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. We're a couple melodramatic guys, troll each other over fanfare. Everything is not high fives. At last, it's not scripted. No set cast. Do you spit facts or trash? You can get muted or booted. You might even get called out or have to sit on the couch, not because of doubt, but for lacking knowledge of your team. Clash of the Fans Club, that's a touchy segment, but the theme is to test your knowledge over live stream. Fan club debaters, even the moderator can be perceived as a moderate hater. An hour or two later with football, basketball, and music, aficionados, as we profess the athletic bravado of your favorite you want to see thrive, even with gamers playing head-to-head live. Some of our basis to be haters is bias, out of sheer alliance of our teams we want to see thrive. Let's see if you can survive the cinematic theatrics of Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. This is Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is Fans Club Live. Welcome to Fans Club Live. Welcome to this is